Hello, everybody, and welcome back from the break. We are about to start our Streets of Ravnica stream. Naha! Ravnica is a setting in Magic: The Gathering that has always been very near and dear to my heart. So when Wizards announced that they were turning it into a campaign setting, I jumped at the chance to be able to finally run a game of Magic: The Gathering in Dungeons and Dragons for my friends. So one of the things that is heavily influenced in Ravnica is the presence of guilds. And guilds are very, very important as they control the ebb and flow of coin throughout the city, as well as things ranging from information on family members to information about prisoners that are held within the Azorius Citadel. However, there is one guild in particular that runs a very different style of long game compared to the others, and that is the guild Orzhov. And in the campaign guide setting, it is said that they are ruled by the Obzedat Council, which is the head of the heads of the Obzedat family, who have all deceased but still maintained their presence after expiring, then joining into the Ghost Council, so that way they can continue to rule as an entire family from their seats of undying. But there's some cool stuff that happened with them as well, such as they have a figurehead, a dignitary known as Teysa Orzhov. And she is their current dignitary leader. In the... Oh, sorry. Takaro. My updater thing stopped before you subscribed, so thank you to subscribing to the channel. I'm sorry if it felt like I was ignoring you. I legitimately just did not see it. So, wait, somebody have something to hit behind them like Greybeard. Shit. GB, hit the thing. But works.
Man,
works.
I lost $1.
So as you can tell, we've been playing tabletop games for quite some time now, but we are enjoying ourselves, and that is
really
the part that counts. You can't throw that
So
cat.
get something to hit and
You
go and
can't
grab
hit
a cat.
Don't yeet.
He makes noises.
Oh! Hooray! Charity
Mr.
cat.
Whiskas.
This Ghost Council, they are the way that they function. If you missed the first portion of the stream, is that a family or a person will end up taking out a loan from the Obzedat, either through usage of manpower or by receiving a large quantity of gold, or through a numerous other amount of things. Pretty much anything that if you need it and it is legally able to be given to you, the Obzedat are more than willing to help you out, but in return, they do require a set amount of service. And that is where we are going to start our adventure. As all of you, each and every single one of you, have woken up, are currently residing in the city at large. For Dhaka, this is a very strange situation for you. But you were sent as you were brought along on a not necessarily a peacekeeping mission, but more of a way that the guilds can feel more comfortable with the presence of the Groll out in the wastelands, as the Groll themselves are very scary individuals because they don't care about rules at all in terms of what the city believes. So, you guys have all awoken in the morning and have found in front of your doorstep a letter. And inside of this letter contains a coin, and the coin itself shows what looks to be a black sphere in the middle that has what looks to be sun rays coming over the top of it. And then below, the same kind of mirrored sun rays, but they are longer and extended, almost like they are a shadow off of this black dot from the vibrant rays of light that comes from behind. And you would know this to be the symbol of the Orzhov Guild. And inside of each of these letters, these letterheads that you find, you see outlining the different debts that each of you or your families have fallen under. And for some of you, this may include such and such and such a long time ago, my great 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 grandfather said that his child in X generation would end up paying off his service, and the Ubzadat were like, that's fine with us, so eventually we'll get our service one way or the other. And so they, in that situation, they would have kept his ghost around until a progenitor was made, then kept that ghost's progenitor, and so on and so forth. And you know that for various reasons, all of you have all been indebted to the Orzhov Guild for quite some time. And you do your best to make payments to the guild, but you also know what happens to people who don't make payments. And you get what is essentially a summons, as well as a listing of all of the debt that you currently owe. As this letter finishes with, if you seek for your debt to be cleared, come to the Godless Citadel. Or come to the Godless Shrine, is what it's named. And so one by one, or in the cases of our Minotaurs, you guys come in small groups and make your way to what you know to be the central headquarters of the Orzhov Guild. And as you arrive, you can see that a lot of the coloration around you is this very deep purple or black, or this very vibrant white. There seems to be just this stark contrast between their color schemes, but with everything that is that they have going around them, as they are built into more of a mountain that had more stuff built on top of it. You were in this kind of subterranean area, and as you all walk forward, you can see standing before you that there is a large slab. And on this slab, it says, judgment shall not be held in the court of the gods, but in the court of man. And so you all, and each of you has seen this as you come by. And you make your way to the Godless Citadel, to the Godless Shrine. I don't know why I keep wanting to say Citadel, probably because I'm tired. But you show up at the Godless Shrine, and one by one you are escorted into a room, and this room has a very posh looking woman sitting behind a desk in a large chair. On this chair is black satin with gold trim around the sides, and you can see I don't want to say embezzled, because I know that's not what that term is. Embroidered, that's the one. And you see embroidered on the back of this chair just the symbol of the Orzhov Guild. And so what does this woman see as the first person is being brought in? And that first person is going to be we are going to say the twins, the brother and sister. I don't know if you guys are actually twins or not. No, just brother and sister?
Yeah, it's brother and sister.
Okay.
No.
So as
I assumed he left home a long time ago, and then he came back, and he was like a really bad influence on me, and that's why I'm an oath breaker.
Yeah.
He's like substantially older than me, I want to say.
Okay.
But she's substantially larger than him.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's like this gangly minotaur. They're both stark black fur.
Makes it hard to read their features. We have a light gray nose and light gray lips, so there's a little bit of distinction, but Shemra has longer, really pulled back into sort of a tight bun, black hair, and like he said, I mean, my horns are larger, but we're not gonna
We don't really bring that up.
Yeah, no.
No.
And Oxland's got this really short cut hair that kind of blends in with the rest of his fur.
And I assume that I would be leading, only in stature, for I cannot read, so I don't actually know what's going on. I've made you read me the letter a couple times, but I am the muscle as opposed to the face.
Oxland takes out his glasses and puts them on.
Oh my god, yes. All of which, you can totally have sunglasses in Ravnica. That is most certainly a thing.
He takes off his sunglasses and puts on his reading glasses.
I do have a shield and javelins on my back. I have a pike in my hand. I'm brandishing all of my weapons because I have my Inquisitor garb on.
Okay.
And a shield.
All right.
That has the goddess Selune on it.
Okay. And do you guys have any of your guild's colors visible? Any blues, blacks, that kind of thing?
I wouldn't think so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No.
So this woman behind the desk notices you guys as you come in, as it's very hard not to. And she says, just take a seat. There are others that are going to be coming, and I would like to only have to explain this once, if necessary. I'm rather busy. I'm going to keep filing paperwork, if that's okay. People would just stop dying, then, well, it'd be easier for me, but then I'd also kind of be out of business. So I hope you don't mind. And she just kind of continues working on these papers. And that is when our next character is going to come in. So, Bruce Lee, how do you enter into this room in this very pristine shrine, in just kind of being led? And you see that it is a humanoid figure that's kind of hunched forward with a long cloak placed over the front of its head to the point where you can't even really see a face underneath it, with long gray-skinned arms that sort of and feet that seem to sort of glide across the ground. They don't seem to actually pick up and step, and when they move, you don't hear any footsteps either.
Just like you don't hear any of my footsteps because I'm super stealthy.
Okay.
Do you know when you see like a happy drunk person stumbling, like they're kind of stumbling but still walking straight?
Yeah.
That's me.
Okay. All right.
It's a nice happy drunk.
So, describe your character as you enter into this room. So, what does the woman behind the desk see?
I sort of have to describe a drunk elephant.
Just what is your garb? What is visuals like? How do your tusks look, if you have tusks at all? What kind of clothes are you wearing? What does she see you as a whole? Not necessarily just your movement.
Probably got like the little monk robes. It's a casual monk martial arts fighting things with a bit of alcohol stains on them because you can't always not spill your drink.
Okay.
Bagpipes on my back because you never know when someone needs a good tune. And yeah, just like a short sword and just a drink.
Okay. Yeah.
No
so
tusks.
Sounds good.
Can an elephant have a moustache? Can I have like one of those big Fu Manchu moustache?
They have like really like whiskers
Bristly
almost.
hair, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Like a walrus.
I am going to say, for the sake of humor, that yes, you can have a very long mustache if you want.
Yes. I got a very long mustache.
Okay.
Guess it's gonna be fun. And like just 3 little bits of hair up on top.
The Homer Simpson 3, like,
Yeah.
sticking up at the top. Okay.
Like the little curve over. Just...
Sounds good. And you have the comb over because, you know, like, you still have to look presentable. You don't want to seem
I try my
wild to
best,
people.
like it's like a drunk person trying to fix his hair.
Mm-hmm. And you can see when you come in, the two, you see these two minotaurs just kind of standing in this room, and they take immediate notice of you as you walk in. As you, although you are very light-footed, you are still bodily just making a lot of movement. And for somebody like Oxlin, it's very easy to pick up. And Oxlin, you're not sure just how drunk Bruce Lee is. As you are familiar with monks that do get sauced, but sometimes it's performance to pretend to be inebriated. Other times, man, they're throttled. And with the large form that this Loxodon is, it's very difficult to kind of gauge where exactly he's at.
Okay. I mean, yeah, Oxlin is going to be standing there just studying him, trying to figure out what his deal is.
And you guys all see that the woman behind the desk looks up, like, just kind of like skews her eyes a little bit more on you and just... Well, we make the best with what we have. If you could please wait with the others. We're still waiting for 2 more. And then once they are here, I'll more go into detail about what it is I would like for you all to actually be doing.
No need for such negativity, man.
Oh God.
We all won.
We do. Do you have anything that you particularly want? And she kind of just like sets her quill down on the desk and brings a hand up to her face. And what is it? A refill? I could get you a refill rather easily.
Sweet.
Do you want what? How many refills are we looking for? I could ensure that that cup never empties. That you always have booze on you, if that is what you desire.
Nah, it's a trap.
It's not a trap, it's a deal. You can have all of the alcohol that you want for the rest of your days, and in return, after you die, you will work for us.
That's a trap. I'm just gonna go.
It's not really
You're freaking me out. You're wrecking my buds, man.
It's like he's never been to the godless shrine before. And she just goes back to writing on her pieces of paper. And it is you guys are there for a couple minutes, and that is when you hear what sounds like 2 sets of footprints coming to the door. But that is when Daka, you arrive on the scene. So what does Tesa see? Looking up at you as you come through the door, being escorted by this kind of spectral figure with this hood that extends past where a face could be, that has just these large gold bands that it wears across its chest, so it kind of makes jangly clanking noises as it moves, but it seems to just glide across the floor.
How tall is the door? Do I got a duck going in?
No, the door is large enough to accommodate for all races within Ravnica, but you see that it's actually a multifaceted door. So you see that there is a small door that looks like it is meant for gnomes and goblins to go through, and then built onto that is another larger door for regular humanoids, another larger door for minotaurs and the larger sizes, and then you see that this door, if need be, can be opened in its entirety, and it stretches a good 80 feet up to the ceiling.
Cool. That's great. Okay, Daka is a centaur. She, like, her upper half that is human is just built. Like, she's got like huge muscles, and she wears like a sleeveless leather armor situation, and she's got like shaved sides of the head, bright red hair that just like flows back and is really long, just goes all the way down to her horseback. Her horse half is stark white, and usually when you see like a white horse, they get darker towards like the hooves or like around the muzzle, but instead it's pinker. towards the hooves. So stark white, red hair, scimitars, short bow, leather armor, and just a real sour expression. She's got black war paint across her eyes.
Nice.
And
dig it.
her arms are just crossed as she walks in.
Okay. And this figure behind the desk just looks up and notices you with your arms crossed. And kind of looks you up and down really quick, and as you kind of turn, she like just sort of admires your whole person. And she says, all right, well, honestly, I'm quite, you're all quite large. To be fair, I don't know what I was expecting when I called in your favors, but I wasn't really expecting this, but I can't say I'm unpleased. As you all look very, very capable for what is going to needed to be done. But we have one more person, so if you could just wait until then. I'm sorry, what is your name? And she asks of you, the centaur.
Daka.
Daka, I understand your people are very quick to getting the results that they crave, so I'm sorry that this is taking a little bit longer than I intended. But if there's anything that any of you need, simply ask, and we can make sure that this gets taken care of. And then a couple minutes go by as well until you finally hear what sounds like wet slapping on the ground outside. Are you riding Tuna?
No, walking beside her.
Okay, so yeah, you hear what sounds like 3 sets of feet, but 2 of these sets of feet just kind of have this wet slapping sound onto the marbled floor that you have seen throughout this shrine. And as the door opens, what does everybody see walking in?
Walking in is this blue Simic. His form is very chitinous.
What was your base? Like
It would've
elves, human, like...
It would have been elf.
Okay.
But yeah, a very chitinous looking elf. The armor plates kind of go up to the neck, and there's like a cowl that is pulled down. Yeah, he looks around, like very vibrant blue eyes. Like, interesting.
And you all see that there is just this large quadrupedal shark creature that has its tongue out, just kind of panting. That is walking next to that is walking into the room along with this Simic experiment that seems to have gone off on his own. And this woman looks at the lot of you, and she kind of counts you over and says, "Well, I believe that's everybody, if I'm not mistaken. Now, the reason... Let me start more formally. My name is Tesa Orzhov. I am a member of the Orzhov Guild. My family has ruled this guild for the last 2,000 years, 1,400 years or so. I believe it's 1,400 in the book. But I have brought you all in here today because your families, for whatever reason, all have debts that need to be paid, whether your own or whether somebody else's. Now, I am willing to clear these debts for you. But, as there always is, I will need something in return, and that, as is the nature of my guild, is servitude. Now, when I say servitude, I don't necessarily mean run to the store, pick me up some milk, and then bring it back before 9. I'm meaning more a service to the city. Something that will benefit everyone as best as it can. Now, the nature for my asking comes from, well, information. And that information is very dear to me. As you may know, the Izzet Guild, being led by the self-proclaimed Dracogenius himself, has been building what he describes as a large collider underneath the city of Ravnica. He believes that he is close to finding the Planeswalker spark, although that's simple hogwash. Everybody knows Planeswalkers don't exist. Now, what we have here is an intersection. Because the Rakdos Guild, as my Demir contacts have led me to believe, have summoned something. In their righteous and glorious laughter that I'm sure they had while cackling over the body of a corpse, they decided to summon forth a creature they could not control from the hells. Now, the creature has been going around, indiscriminately killing my men, the Demir's men, the Izzet Guild men, and generally just causing a ruckus for what it's worth. We've heard that it's, again, some sort of demonic creature, something or other, but I have decided to look into the good graciousness of my own heart and offer you all a chance at freeing your family's name for a simple act of kindness and servitude to the city. Now, does that sound like something reasonable that you all would do? No longer do you have to fear that should you not find a progenitor, you would serve us as a ghost, but rather you can just live your life as you were.
Tonight, to get this right, all we have to do is take care of this beast, and we're free.
Yes. Now, the reason that I brought up the collider, as Niv has described it, is that this creature seems to have run off into the sewers and found his way into the maze. And he seems to be keeping that as his lair. So I would need you all to go into that maze and see if you can find out where he is. Normally, I would see about getting information, but as much as he is a braggart, Niv is good with his secrets, and he won't share the layout of his maze with us. So, I've contacted all of you, who seem to be the best of the best in terms of choices at that time, but honestly, looking at you, I'm partially regretting my decision. I was initially looking for discretion, but this seems... Well, if the job gets done, the job gets done.
Well,
Then
at
you're
least
free to
some
go.
of us can be discreet.
I would appreciate the discretion. As again, this is a multi-guild issue. This is not something simply one of us is looking to achieve. So if people end up going missing or there becomes a controversy between any of the guilds, none of us particularly want responsibility for Rakdos' fuck-up. As I am not sure if you've ever had the pleasure of dealing with Rakdos the Defiler, but he doesn't exactly care about our general city rules. He pays his taxes, and that seems to be good enough for the Azurian, but we here, the Orshova, believe in something a little bit different. We want structure back to this city, and structure we shall find. All that we need to do is reach out to the likes of you, I suppose. So, do any of you have any questions for me?
At some point, Lox has popped out his spider legs and climbed up onto the ceiling.
Oh, please don't do that.
Kind of just lowers himself down in front of her. If we were to complete this task, will you be accepting return customers?
Oh, we're always accepting return customers.
Excellent. Raises himself out of her face.
Yes, this deal would last for the majority of your debt. However, if you do decide to strike up business with us again after the fact, well, we'll give you an amazing interest rate. How about that? Choose your afterlife, Spectre, Thrall. Your choice, really. Otherwise, we get to decide for you, and really, that's half the fun of my job.
What's the thing?
That I wish I could tell you. My Demir contact wasn't exactly forthcoming with all of the information that he had. But what I do know is that it is demonic in nature. It seems to use some sort of fiendish ability to, well, quite frankly, scare the living hells out of anybody that it tries to. It's been known to extend its jaw, twist its body, vomit worms. It's got a lot in its package. I'm not exactly wanting to send perfectly good spirits down there to investigate when I can just send you all. Because, of course, your debt's free once you've completed the mission. And if you die early, well, it's a new worker for me.
Sounds fair enough to me, sister. How about you?
I get to kill something, I'm happy.
You're so easy to please.
Can these guys keep up?
I would sure hope so.
Do you doubt my strength?
No, I doubt your mobility.
Let's not get into any kind of blood sport in my office, please. If you do seek to have your own colorful conversations, I would recommend either finding a tavern nearby where you can break everything in accordance of the law, or you can start on your way. But again, I would rather not have a rampaging Groll in my office.
What's a Groll?
She just points at the centaur. That.
Oh.
A very,
Right.
very proud one at that. For that, I have to give it some respect. Only some. And so at that, you see that the doors open up, and one of these hooded figures has opened the doors and is just motioning with his hand for you guys to exit the room.
Good evening.
Blah.
Blah.
One final question. You
Yes.
said it's in the maze underneath the city.
Yes, and we've...
Starting location.
Yes, the eastern entrance to the maze. I can send somebody to join you, to at least escort you there. Actually, now that I think about it, a tavern would be a rather good place for you all to meet up with him in. We have the Stomping Kodo that you could go to. Or... God, what is it? I know it's a Magic the Gathering card. It starts with Stomping, and I want to use that as the bar name. Not Stomping.
Take this moment to thank Alex Rice Do Things for donating to our Extra Life Fund.
Thanks, Alex.
We are now up to $525 raised for our group.
Whoa.
Oh,
Yeah.
We're doing a good job.
Good shit.
Is it?
Oh,
For that, I'll have a drink.
Yeah.
the name of the bar is the Peevish Stomp Howler.
The Peevish Stomp Hour.
Stomp Howler.
I know that place.
Let's fuck it. Not Peevish. It's just gonna be the Stomp Howler Bar and Grill. We'll call it that because that seems much more aligned with what a stomp howler is.
Stop howler.
That
Yes.
place has good beer.
A stomp howler is a gargantuan creature that looks like it looks like the mixture of like a rhino, where it has the hard padded hooves, but then it also has a longer extended neck that has more of like a tapier face on it. It looks really weird, but I love stomp howler.
All right.
Yes, the Indrik Stomp Howler, which I will post a link in the chat as to what that looks like. Bajoom.
Oh boy.
Yes, so he's a very, very large boy, but the bar is named the Stomp Howler Bar and Grill for that big boy. And so she says, you'll know my contact when he approaches you. Otherwise, enjoy yourself.
Good day.
I will.
Yeah, and so she, you guys exit this office and you make your way to the Stomp Howler Bar and Grill. As you know that it's not actually too far away from where the entrance to the Godless Shrine is. It seems to be located maybe about a half-mile away. And so during that time, you guys are all free to exchange conversations with yourself to learn more about each other, as well as once you get to the bar and place your orders, as you're going to be there for roughly about an hour, hour and a half before your contact shows up.
Well, you lot are pretty big.
You are only small.
No, I'm actually quite medium-sized. There are smaller people than I.
What are you?
Giant
Simic.
shark puppy.
This is a giant shark puppy, and I am. Well, I don't really know what I am, but I am a Simic hybrid.
The important question is, are you good?
I mean, no one can really say if they are good
No.
when they want.
In the philosophical sense.
Are you skilled?
Thank you, dear.
I do have skilled I do have skilled hands and a sharper mind. Scientist, as it were.
Speaking of sharp minds, how sharp is yours, big fella? Pointing at the locksmith. I hope you can keep your composure better than you can keep your stance.
My stance is perfectly fine. Only when one is truly drunk can they see the butterflies amongst the moths.
I don't know
Well-
what that means.
That sounded like gibberish.
We're in a temperate
So how
climate.
sharp is your mind? If you can't understand that.
Another.
I don't drink before missions.
You're missing out on a whole new world.
Just confused. Wait, there are tons of moths here. Butterflies, no. It's a temperate climate.
I'm gonna pinch the bear with my trunk.
I've seen many Minotaur before, but never this much of a deviance in sexual dimorphism.
What?
You're rather gangly for a Minotaur.
Well, you're rather
Is this
gangly for a
dark?
small shrimp.
Maybe the shark puppy's the monster and we just kill it and
Oxen's gonna get a small glass of the setting's similarity to whiskey and just start sipping it. Very daintily.
Sorry, what
You
are
have
doing?
he's sorry, go ahead.
I just order at the bar. Just order a small whiskey.
Okay. Yeah, and whatever you guys end up ordering,
a keg.
yeah. For a keg, they will charge you 10 gold pieces.
I'm sure I have that.
Yeah, you guys, by level 4, 10 gold pieces is not too bad if your DM gives you a lot of money, unlike some indoor adventurers. So yeah, you are able to pick up a keg of ale, and you manage to get your shot of whiskey as well. And then what are your preferred palates? Like, what do you guys order to eat?
Meat.
Chicken.
A small salad.
A large salad.
A haunch of something.
Fucking haunch.
Haunch.
Yeah. We'll say at the bar and grill, haunch is like a size. Like how like Starbucks has the like the small, medium, large, but it's like the special names of it. Haunch is like a specific size of food.
It's like rump, flank, haunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
They're all hindquarters. I don't understand this.
Yeah, so you do end up getting you get a haunch that is of a tasty enough palate for you. So yeah, you guys all end up getting your delicious foods, and you just enjoy your general meal. And it seems like and you all introduce yourself in terms of names, unless you are wanting to give a different name to your new party for any reason whatsoever. But if not, you guys wait there for probably about an hour, like enough time for you to have a few drinks if you want. You can get your food, kind of just have a dinner. As this weird ramshackle family, it would be like if the Suicide Squad went out to Olive Garden before the movie started. And so yeah, you guys you guys are all awaiting the call, as it were, from this contact in the guild, until eventually you see that there's a hooded figure that's wearing very dark brown leathers, and you can see they have a few belts, like buckles on their chest as well, to kind of keep the leathers on for quick and easy takeoff. And as they come in, they pull their hood back, and you can see that they look like kind of more of like an elf who hasn't seen sun in a while. Like, they look very pasty white, with very gaunt features. And the elves in Ravnica, compared to the Forgotten Realms, are much more lithe. Whereas in the Forgotten Realms, an elf is like basically human in structure and build. The elves of Ravnica are much longer in their arms and legs, and their jaws are much more angular and long as well. They just seem a little bit sharper as a whole. And so you see this figure kind of like scan around the room, and then he notices the lot of you, and then he doesn't beeline directly over. You can see that he is moving with some discretion, until he eventually pulls a chair up and sits next to you. And as he looks around, he says, so, you're all going to be the ones that I'm going to be taking into the sewers?
Yes.
Just nod slightly.
This is going to be a little bit more difficult than I thought initially, but that's why it took me so long to be able to come and find you. I was finding a perfect opening into the aqueducts, into the sewers. And he kind of like looks over you, Oxlin, and Shemra, you as well, and he gives you this look, and you can see that he kind of moves his hand on the table, where normally you would expect him to just kind of be like doing with his fingers. That's kind of what it sounds like, but the two of you would know this to be coming off in Thieves' Cant. Or at least you would, Oxlin. It says, "Are you a member of the guild?"
And, discreetly in the same manner, I'll reply, yes.
Technically, I know Thieves' Count too.
Yep. Yeah, so you hear them, and like you're not used to hearing it in this kind of cadence, but you do understand these two talking in Thieves' Cant.
I'm gonna use my hoof to stomp. No.
And his eyes kind of get wide, and he looks at you and just
Yeah.
smiles like, all
Well
right
played.
then. Yeah. And he kind of just like, he does end up signaling that back of well played. And so he ends up asking the group of you, so we are going to be fighting against something rather dreadful. So I've done the due diligence of picking up some weapons that might be more useful than whatever it is that you're currently making use for. Let's see. We can just give you some arrows. I don't really know what you do, Loxodon. You don't seem to have any weapons on you.
I am the weapon.
Well played. And you there, what is your name, taller one? And he looks at you, Shemra.
There's a lot of tall people here.
I know. Like,
But you are the tallest of them all.
Ah,
You're the
yes.
largest.
I am
Is she?
Shemra.
Well,
All right, Shemra. What kind of weapon do you prefer to use?
I pull out my. It's not a javelin. Nope. What is it called?
A
Action.
little gnome.
Pike. I pull out my little gnome, and I flip it over and I stamp it down on the ground.
Okay.
Ah!
This is the little note. I use this one. Help me. So he just kind of nods. Says, all right. I think I can make that work. And what about you? He kind of looks at you, Oxlin. What kind of weapon do you prefer to use, if any?
He'll just like slightly unsheath the short sword at his waist and then put it back.
Okay. And he acknowledges your short sword and says, all right. Now, these are things I can make do with. Now, if you would like to follow me, I will escort you to... Yes, you. I can't hear you.
I don't get a weapon?
Do you use weapons? You don't really look like you're dressed for battle.
He reaches to his side and pulls out like these 3 large field scalpels.
I can get you some daggers, and that's about as best I can do. I'm not a medic.
Oh, these aren't for medicine. Well, he just leaves it up there.
And you see a smile kind of play across this guy's face. Just, all right. Well, if you'd all follow me. And as you guys are leaving, the bartender kind of like comes over to this fellow. Kind of, it seems like he's gonna ask like, "Oh, aren't you guys gonna pay for your meals?" Like that kind of thing. As you've been given all of your food and drink at this time, up till this time, at a gratuity. And you see the figure that has come in with you reach into his pocket, and he pulls out a silver coin that has the symbol of the Orzhov Guild on it, and he just hands the coin to the bartender, and the bartender looks at it and like his eyes kind of go wide, looks at the guy, looks at the coin again, and just, I am so sorry. And he just like backs off and leaves you guys alone and doesn't even seem like the amount of fight that he had in him immediately drained from his face upon seeing the coin. And so you guys exit this facility and are now all walking down the streets of... Ugh, that was a weird mind fart. I wanted to say the streets of Shroudport, but we are not there. We are in Ravnica. Shroudport, Ravnica edition. You guys all go to... you guys are all walked for about a solid hour. Until finally you see that there is... you come to a river that kind of extends through town. And leading up to it, you see that there is a large gate. And that gate is being guarded by 2 individuals, and these individuals are wearing the colors of the Boros Legion. They are wearing red and white colors. And as you all approach, the Legionnaires raise out their spears and do the rigmarole of asking Halt who's there. And their hearts don't really seem to be in it that much. Like, why is this group of people coming up to us? And that is when this figure once again kind of looks at them, gives them both, just kind of shoots them both a glance and nods. And then you see one of them also nod, look at the other, continues to nod, and then they just open up the gate. And for Oxlin, you would know that this kind of interaction is very common amongst House Demir agents, as you don't ever necessarily say that you are part of House Demir, but if you are a member of the guild, then other members of the guild have an easier time recognizing you, it would seem.
Yeah, I'll also nod.
And they just kind of give you that slow acknowledgement as you guys continue on your way deeper into the sewers of the city. And it's very confusing down here, and he kind of takes you around a few corners, and then he puts his hand up for you guys to stop. And you see that there is what looks to be a box that is just set up against a wall. And you can see that it's empty, and it has a few empty bottles in it that look like maybe they were used by some undercity drunk at some point. But then this man flips the box upside down, and the bottles don't fall out. And he sets it onto the ground, stands on top of the box, reaches up into a section of wall, and you see him start removing 2 fake stones. And then he reaches inside. And you see him pull out a large bundle that's been wrapped in a burlap sack. And when he sets it on the ground and unfurls it, he has a silvered short sword, a silvered pike, and a set of silvered daggers, as well as a quiver of 20 silvered arrows. And he says, well, I don't know if this is going to necessarily help, but I do know that certain creatures don't exactly like it when you hit them with silver. So, demon silver seems elementary, really. But I don't really know what to do about you. And he just says, like, kind of looking at the Loxodon who had said, my body is my weapon. He's like, but I'm sure that Tesa hired you for a reason, at least.
My buddy.
Oh, I'm sure. If only we could all be as lucky as you. And then after you guys get your weapons, which are your regular weapons, but now have the silver property on them, he begins to escort you through the sewers. And it is very confusing for our non-Minotaur friends. As again, the Minotaurs, regardless of your intelligence, do have a memory for mazes. So you guys would have no problem exiting these sewers. And honestly, Oxlin, that was one of the reasons why you fit so well in House Demir, is because moving around these aqueducts comes so naturally to you.
Yep.
As well as your kind of lithe figure was a benefit when, even though you are a large person, you were able to squeeze into places sometimes. But you guys make it through the sewers, and as you're going through, you see that there are what look to be like dams and small locks that have been built up. You see people that have these wooden skiffs that they are just kind of gondolaing themselves down these sewers underneath the city streets. But your guide doesn't seem to be paying any attention to them, as it doesn't really seem particularly interested. And as you go through these city sewers, eventually you come upon what looks to be going from this drab kind of grayish stone to where, looking forward, you can see that there is a large gate, and then that gate goes into what looks to be like reddish stone that's kind of been built into the sewers, and you can see that the walls themselves have these large metal sheets that have been placed around, and you see that on the gate itself, gate itself, in this large wrought iron configuration, you see the symbol of the Izzet Guild, which is the outline of a dragon, as Teysa had explained to you that, again, Niv Mizzet is very much an egotist, and not exactly somebody who is one to take his own guild lightly. But as your companion gets up to the door of one of these gates, you see him bring out a small set of thieves' tools, and he begins working on the lock. And he ends up picking the lock pretty easily for you guys and pushes it open, and then you guys continue for another 45 minutes, it seems, just in this endless sewer, as the city itself stretches for hundreds of miles across the top of Ravnica. So this really isn't very far-fetched to be kind of wandering around doing all of this. And then that is when you guys get to what looks to be an opening in the wall, where it seems like the wall has stopped and been built inward into an expanse of long hallway. And he says, all right, it's just through here. And you guys continue down that corridor, just kind of swiveling back and forth until you get to a large central chamber. And as you guys get to that large central chamber, you hear what sounds like cackling. And as you approach, you see that there is what looks to be a humanoid form, that a medium-sized humanoid form that just has what looks to be a minotaur slung over his shoulder. And he doesn't seem to be deterred by the weight of the minotaur at all. He is just walking forward. And then the guy that you're with just goes, I think that's what you guys were sent here to take care of. As this creature, you see, since the minotaur is on its right shoulder, as he says that, it stops, and you see these ears that look almost elven twitch and flick a little bit, and then you see the head turn like an owl, so that way its face is facing outwards on its back, and you can see that it looks like a regular elven face, but then its jaw distends down and its eyes roll back, and you can just see this long black tongue slither out as it just begins cackling and running forward, not looking where it's going, but seeming to navigate without error as it runs deeper into this maze. And your guide looks at the lot of you and says, and that is where I am going to be heading back out. So, best of luck. Try not to die. Any other series of encouraging words? Yes, well, I wouldn't worry so much about the oven. If you want, I can go and check on it for you. What's your home address?
I should probably come show you the home address just to be sure you get there safely.
Actually, how about this? And he closes his eyes. I want you to think about your home address. Think about your home. Think about your stove.
It's a trap.
It's not a trap. Just think about it.
Well, thinking's not gonna get that creature, so
That's true.
see you later.
Make a wisdom save, Bruce Lee.
If this is me being charmed or frightened, I have advantage against that.
It is not a charm or frighten ability.
That is a 14.
Okay. You see this guy close his eyes and look at you, and then his eyes slightly open, and you can just see that there is this dim blue light. And from his hands that he had in front of his mouth, you see him moving his mouth, and as he does, this long blue, almost ethereal-looking length of paper comes out. And it seems to be about yay long, and it just looks like it's covered in magical runes. And as he looks at it, he says, "That's all I needed to know, thank you." And then he pinches it back, sets it into his pocket, and he begins walking away.
The fuck?
And Oxlin, you can make a Arcana check if you would like, and this will be with advantage because of your background.
Oh,
Can I make a
right.
Arcana check?
Yes.
As a player, I already know.
That's a 22 total.
Okay.
That's a 19.
So the 22 and the 19. The 19, you would have heard of this, but you would never have been seen it used before. But Oxlin, you would know that this is a spell that House Demir has crafted for themselves in their ways, and you know that this spell is called Encode Thoughts, which allows you to look into either your own mind or another person's mind using a Detect Thoughts ability, and actually create a small receipt paper of what that thought or memory was. And they can hold on to that for upwards of 8 hours.
I was thinking of the tavern we were just in.
Okay.
Because to Bruce Lee, the tavern is his home.
Which is why I had you make the wisdom save, as he had cast a Detect Thoughts on you and had delved deeper than just your base level emotions to find out where your home was.
Bastard. At least my oven should be safe.
Yep.
I'd move if I were you. Well, shall we continue?
We shall. And
Decca's already walking.
Lox turns on the spot, falls backward, and starts using his spider legs to move back.
Ew, gross. I love it.
Why you spider?
That's how I was made.
Made?
We Simic are eccentric at best. Made in
And
the
that
image
was-
of creatures, basically.
When a mama simic and a papa simic love each other very much, they
They make a
experiment with their
bastard of
child.
nature. It's simple.
And as you say simple, you just hear...
Oh yeah, tuna.
That
this-
is made as well.
Yes.
And it just kind of nuzzles its big head against your shoulder.
Mine?
No, against our Simic friend.
I was like, damn!
You see, tuna was my first creation.
Don't mess with me.
I'm not.
No, I mean, don't. And I motion to...
Oh
you
no.
and
Oh no.
die.
If you were consenting, sure, but you nod. Scuttles away.
Smart move.
I am going to cast a spell that I know I have now. Divine Sense. I'm going to see if I can detect good and evil within 60 feet. So I'm going to hold on to my shield, and then to cover my chest, and then I'm going to reach in my pull out a necklace that no one can see unless they have really good perception. And I'm going to pray to my goddess
Nice.
Shahar, and see if I can find some evil bitches.
Wolf pops out of a corner. I saw that and just
All right.
disappears. Yeah. So you detect good and evil. So you don't get the sense of any fiends or fae within the 150 feet. range limit. Is it also, in order to properly detect them, you need to have a clear range to be able to track them down?
No, it's you can sense anything affected by the hollow spell or know the location of any celestial fiend undead within 60 feet.
Okay, within 60, yeah, you don't get any feedback from that.
Mm-hmm. Lead the way, brother.
I'll be happy to.
No, wait. I'll go first. You're squishy. And I shove you to the back a little bit.
All right. So you guys begin making your way into this maze. So as you do, you guys march onward for about 10 minutes or so, and you can see that this pathway seems to divert and split to a lot of different angles. But it all seems to be maintaining just a steady path. There doesn't seem to be any other any real deviations on where it's going. But I would like for whoever's leading to make a survival check with advantage, because you have 2 Minotaurs in your party.
Yo.
Okay.
I'll be leading.
Yes.
I will lead. I think I'm trained in survival, actually. Yeah, I am. Yeah, I am! Well, not a good advantage, didn't he? That's gonna be a 16.
Okay. So with your 16, you guys end up going through a series of chambers, and you can see that these chambers all have multiple doors and multiple entryways and different ways that you could come in and out. But Daka, with your skilled tracking senses, you are able to kind of get a general look around and notice, okay, the dust hasn't been moved in this, like, going down that pathway in some time. You can see that there are old scrape marks that also don't look like they've necessarily, like, they aren't very fresh, coming from different pathways and different doors. And then some areas, just based on the angle and curvature of the pathways that you've been taking, would just lead to a false end. It wouldn't take you deeper within the sewers, and you guys have now spent the better part of 2 hours kind of navigating around this sewer area until you go towards a long stretch of hallway, and then you see that it immediately cuts back to the right. And going around that, you see that it then, at the end of this stretch of hallway, immediately just very, very quickly jars up to the left. And as you go up this lefternmost path, you see that there are 2 small forms that are leaning up against a wall, and one of them just seems to kind of be shaking in very, very heavily. And you see that there is what looks to be a small hand that's rubbing its back. And as you guys get closer, you see that there is a gnome and a goblin wearing red and blue regalia that are just kind of set up against this wall. And the goblin is just like, he just does not look like he is doing okay at all. And this gnome is kind of like rubbing his back, telling him, "It's gonna be okay, buddy, it's gonna be okay." And really just trying to reaffirm to his friend. And then he sees you guys coming up, as these hallways are about 10 feet wide, so it's very difficult for 2 of you to stand side by side. So a lot of this has just been single file down the hallway. Until eventually this gnome then like looks up at this group coming down. He just, do any of you have papers? You're not supposed to be in here.
Oh, don't worry, we are supposed to be here.
There you go.
Make a deception check.
Okay.
But it's true, though. We are supposed to be here.
Oh, not really. That was a
Not by their
10
standards.
total.
And he looks at you, and then he kind of like looks you up and down. Well, you're not a contractor because you don't have any paper bags or anything like that with you to actually have any kind of any kind of paperwork, and you don't have any tinkering parts, and you're not wearing anything that's red or blue, the color of the Izzet colors, and you're not a gnome, and you're not a goblin, so I don't really understand how you're supposed to be here unless you're actually here to develop some kind of weird abomination. And even in that case, I don't really think that
God,
you're supposed
stop
to.
talking.
From the ceiling, I drop down in front of him.
So
You see weird abomination.
Can I squish it?
No.
Let's not squish yet.
Can I kill it?
And you
Ow.
see, like, this little gnome hand is then, like, shielding this goblin that just sort of seems to be, like, crying into its hands. Just,
What did your friend see?
well, he said that that we both saw it. I'm just handling it a little bit better than my friend. Partner, really. But let's not get into semantics. Now, if you really want to get into it, there was what looked to be a like an elven man, half elven man, something like that. He was carrying a very large a corpse. A corpse.
I'm sure that creature wasn't supposed to be here either. So
Yes, and when we went to try and approach him about telling him that he wasn't exactly supposed to be here, he started throwing up worms in front of us after his head swiveled back around his body. And, you know, I've been in the Izzet Guild for a while. I've seen some weird shit, man. Not every experiment turns out the way that you were expecting it to turn out. But that's fucked.
Yeah.
That is not okay. I should have
where
just
did it
listened to
go?
my father and been a tinkerer gnome instead of experimenting with all of this magic. But magic is so much more fun and so much more enjoyable, which really just reminds me that maybe you could possibly start containing trinkets and magic together. And then
Hey!
what?
What did I say
Sorry,
about talking?
sorry. You asked.
where did it go?
It went down there. And he points to the hallway that they are currently looking down. Where did my map go?
Over there, Steven.
It actually was over there.
Oh.
Yeah, so you guys all get directed down this this length of hallway as these two scared creatures, as this gnome just continues to try and console this goblin. And he like puts his head against the goblin's one's like, it's gonna be
You said
okay.
These two are wearing like the colors of Izzet, red and
Yes, these very bright red and blue robes.
all right. I'm going to rip off a piece of red fabric off of this gnome, stick it on myself, and say, "Well, now I'm supposed to be here." This.
And he just, well, that was a researcher level 3. Oh.
I'm gonna lean down, like get almost on my knees to get up close to this goblin who's freaking out. Is
Yeah.
the goblin one, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of just snort like a horse or something like that, and then I'm gonna put my hand on his face, and I'm gonna cast Lay on Hands, and I'm gonna give him 2 points.
Okay.
His entire head.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you see that, like, as your hand is coming down, like, what the audience sees is that it, like, cuts to this goblin looking up at you with, like, the cat eyes that just get fucking massive black. His ears kind of, like, slick back onto his head as this hand, just the shadow of this hand appears on his face before it finally, like, focuses on and just... as the Lay on Hands ability takes place. And it actually comes out as what looks to be more of like a purplish magic than a very bright and vibrant white or whiter bluish color that you would expect from a good aligned deity. But I don't think this is really a situation where people are really going to be like, hey, that's not what you're supposed to be worshiping. As you guys are fighting against some weird shit down in the sewers. So you then go down the hallway that they mentioned, and you can see that it branches off to the left and the right. But make another survival check as you go through.
Do this.
Body breaks.
Lead the way.
Yes, it'll probably
Advantage.
break.
Ooh. This one's a 23.
Okay, so with your 23, you would know that the left-hand path doesn't look like it's been traveled on very much at all. But you can see what looked to be a quick set of footfalls that were racing down the rightmost path. And so you follow that path, and then that path quickly juts up to the left again. And you can actually hear the sound, a loud thrumming sound. That almost sounds like it is just water being constantly churned. And you can also hear the sound of water just kind of splashing in and of itself. And as you guys go around this corner, you can see that there is a stretch of water that's about 30, 40 feet long. And in the middle of it is just this large churning generator that seems to be using the natural flow of the water coming through this section of the cave to actually start contribute in generating electricity for this Izzet Guild. And you can see that it looks like a solid capsule, and inside you can just see flashes of a very bright blue, very whitish color. As you can see this electricity being generated. And that is where we are going to go into our first potty break for Streets of Ravnica. I'm having a blast with this, by the way. This is so much fun for me.
Yeah.
So I want to say thank you to all of you wonderful players out there, and thank you to all you wonderful people who've decided to stop by the stream. If you are interested in donating to Extra Life, but you do not have money to donate, you can follow this channel, and we will donate money for you. We have been playing... oh, thank you, Barry. We have been playing tabletop RPGs now for 11 hours straight, and honestly, I thought I would feel worse. I definitely thought
Feels good, man.
Yeah, feels
It's
good.
because you're with friends.
I have so
I'm
many
dying.
friends. Yeah, Barry's dying.
3 more hours, buddy. 3 more hours.
Yes. If at any point your drunk ass Loxodon wants to take a nap and just say fuck it to the rest of the adventure, I get it. But we will return in 5 to 10 minutes and continue our adventure through Niv Mizzet's maze. Until then, we will see you guys shortly. All right. Bye. We've done it. We've transitioned back. So that way all of you wonderful people can get back to the game. The Ravnica game. I'm tired, but that's okay. As you could probably hear, RJ has had a small piece of his soul exit his body as we enter into hour 11. It's great. We only got 13 more to go.
Oh yeah, man!
Yes!
It didn't work.
Yeah, that was a poor choice made on your part, but I'm not gonna
It's
stop
not
you
my
from making
fault.
it.
I was scheduled. I forgot. Like I literally forgot.
Sounds like a personal problem.
I just remembered
But
I can sniff stuff for advantage.
you
Yeah, you
can. So you guys, last we left off, are standing in front of this electrical generator that is by this kind of fast-moving water, and you can see that in the water beneath it is what looks to be a storm drain that just has water kind of pouring into it. So, who first lead the charge when swimming across this expanse or trying to scale around it? As it seems that
How
there
far is it?
it is about it's about 30 feet long, 40 feet long. I'm gonna say 40. I'm gonna give it a solid 40.
And how far can someone jump?
God, what is the rules for D&D?
I always forget jumping rules.
Yeah.
All right, hold on. D&D Beyond. Only.
I'll try it. I'll go first.
So, when you make a long jump, you cover a number of feet up to your strength score if you move at least 10 feet on foot immediately before the jump. When you make a standing jump, you can only leap half that distance. So, if you had a 20 strength score, for example, you could do a long jump of 20 feet which would still put you at about half of the overall distance of this water, but it would put you directly on top of the generator.
We have to.
I can get onto it.
Quite literally jump the shark.
Oh,
I can literally get onto the generator as well. And so can our smart one.
Is
Wait.
there anything else in the room?
No, it's part of the corridor. It doesn't seem like it's actually a room at all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
so like, is it something I could stand on?
It looks like it is turning, so you might be able to like log roll it, where you're like walking backwards on this thing as it's turning to kind of stabilize yourself with an acrobatics check. But it doesn't look like something that you would be able to firmly plant your hooves on.
Okay.
Can we jam it with something?
We can just swim around it. I'll swim it.
Okay.
I need to stop doing that voice, otherwise I'm gonna be wrecked for the rest of that day.
Well, good luck to all of you, and just gonna clamber around the side of the wall.
Yep. And you see that shark puppy, Tuna. This big dire wolf just hops into the water and swims across, no problem. And then just kind of like meets you onto the other side. All right, so make an athletics check as you go to swim across.
Oh, I needed a bath anyway.
As you feel that there is this pull kind of dragging you down towards the bottom that's coming from this sewer grate. And there is also the strong current that seems to be flowing past this to help generate to help power the actual generator.
17.
Okay, yeah, 17 gets you about halfway, no problem. Make another athletics check.
12.
Okay, so with the 12, you managed to kind of break free from this small little whirlpool that seems to have taken itself down.
Mm-hmm.
And you managed to get across, no real issue. And now there is only the matter of your other 3 party members on the other side of...
How's the water?
Frankie
Cold.
looks like a statue. Like he doesn't look real in the camera.
Does he have his mouth open?
No.
No.
Oh.
Anyways, so who is going next?
I'll attempt to swim.
Okay. So make a athletics check as you go to swim
All
across.
That was bad. 7 total.
Okay, so with your 7, you as you start swimming underwater, you actually feel the pull of this sewer grate drain that's under that is beneath you, and you actually start getting sucked down under it. So you are now submerged in water, steadily kind of getting dragged down. So make another athletics check as you try and swim out of this current.
How
that has you
far
pulled in.
under is he?
He is currently 15 feet under.
Ooh boy.
Ooh boy.
So I'm gonna start tying a rope to the end of one of my javelins. Just like as soon as he gets in the water, I'm like,
Okay, sounds
that was
good.
a 14 on the second roll.
Okay, so with the 14, you manage to kind of get out of this whirlpool that is kind of billowing underneath you. But as you swim forward, the overall current that's pushing you to the side just kind of presses you up against one of the sewer grates. So you are still trapped underwater. And you actually, as you hit these...
15 feet.
Yeah, you are currently 15 feet underwater. And as you hit up against these sewer grates, some of your breath actually does leave your mouth. So make a Constitution saving throw as you are smacked up against this.
I'm gonna crawl
that's
along
20.
the wall.
How's a what?
20.
Yeah, so you do not lose any air when you hit up against this wall. And then what is our Simic doing?
He's gonna crawl along the wall, like basically 15 feet away from where our Minotaur friend is, and he's just gonna shout, "Just let it happen!" and he's gonna cast Lightning Lash.
What does that do?
So Lightning Lash is really fun because
I'm in water.
if the target succeeds on if the target fails a strength saving throw, it is pulled 10 feet in a straight line towards me.
Okay.
And if they end up 5 feet in front of me, then they take 1d8. But I'm planning so that every single time I'm pulling him, he's just right out of that cusp.
Okay. Sounds good.
Does that hurt me with the attack or only?
No, you have to end up in front of me, basically. But I'm pulling you, like, just slightly away.
Okay.
Okay.
Just let it happen! Lightning Lash.
Okay.
Lightning
Can I
Lash.
see-
As I'm underwater, so I'm not.
Yeah, so the electricity that you are currently sending into the water seems to actually start affecting this generator that is currently spinning in the water. And as it does, you actually see that it begins spinning quicker and quicker and quicker and quicker with each lightning lash that you do, until eventually you do manage to pull to get Oxlin out onto the shore of the other side. But Oxlin, right as you are exiting from the water, you all hear this as you look down into the water, and it seems like the generator has actually shattered from its casing and now has electrified the water in this stretch.
Oh.
Oops.
So
Maybe
one
we
brother.
should just go check on my oven. I don't trust it.
It'll be fine. It'll dissipate in...
I grab him by his like ear to keep him from leaving.
okay.
So, do we have anything which we can jam into this generator?
Oh, it's
It's already, yeah, it's
Yeah.
off. It's
The water's just electrified as fuck.
It is, the generator itself isn't off, but it looks like the casing that was holding the electricity that it was generating has broken. And
So
it's
it's
still
still
just currently
going.
just spewing electricity into the water of the area as the water continues to affect it.
I'm gonna throw a javelin at it
Okay.
to try and, break it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know how mechanics work. We'll see.
Kill it.
Just
It's
Kill,
a
I'll
problem.
just kill it. I'll kill it.
I'm just gonna play my bagpipes for some inspirational music.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good
You're
way
not
to
a
lose the
bard, right?
bagpipes.
Nope, but I got bagpipes. So
I rolled a 3, so I got a 10.
Okay.
To hit
Um,
the thing that's not moving.
So it is, well, it's moving in place. It's just
Yeah, yeah.
not, it's not like moving towards you or away from you. But as your javelin kind of gets into the water, you see it just kind of sucked into the overall flow of the water, and you see it begin just floating downstream.
Huh.
So on top of the generator, how dangerous is that right now?
The generator is entirely submerged in water.
Okay,
so it
so
would have to be
okay.
like a log roll situation.
I can log roll.
Is my brother on my side?
No, he swam. Yes, actually, the brother, sister, and the Simic are on one side, and then the centaur and the loxodon are on the other.
I'm kind of just lying on
Turn the
ground.
shark puppy over.
There's also a crocodile that has a fox on its back, and he's trying to get him across, but who knows how that's gonna work out.
And then there's also a chicken, a fox, and a bag of seeds that you have to put on a boat and make
So
sure
the chicken will eat the seeds,
the fox will eat the chicken.
and there's a
You only
scorpion
take
riding
one
on a
across
frog.
at a time.
There's
And
a
the
hole in
gingerbread
bottom.
man is like,
So how are we get this?
I'm just gonna say thank you, little one, and I'm going to embrace him
Okay.
and then let him,
we're gonna
and then
be
kind of
embraced.
like grab him by the shoulders and push him away from me.
Okay. Oh, extra life for the kids. Thank you. Thank you for stopping by.
Ah, hello.
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna have to
know what
get
it's about.
electrocuted because fucking why not?
Do it.
How are you getting over first, Centaur? Lady, I'm terrible with names, and I'm pretty certain I zoned out
I'm
on how we
Daka.
got here, so I have no idea how we got to a generator.
I'm Daka.
How are you getting across? Cause
I will cross in my own time. I just don't.
thought we
feel
were in
like-
a rush here.
No rush.
If we were to turn off the generator, you'd be able to swim across.
How
How
do we
does one
kill
do
the
that?
generator?
There's probably a switch somewhere.
By all
Send your
means.
shark puppy over.
I'm gonna shoot an arrow at it.
Okay. Make an attack.
Barry, why must you hurt everything I love?
That's a 23.
23 hits. Roll for damage.
Short bows are d6s, right?
Yes.
Yee.
He sings the song of his people.
Oh, I thought that was a police car.
I mean,
Yes.
that's 5 damage.
Okay. So you see that when your arrow strikes into it, you actually see that there is a bright flash of electricity, but it begins to steadily decrease its spinning. So now it's still going, it's still releasing some electricity into the water, but it's not going nearly as quickly, and it doesn't seem to be expelling as much of this excess energy as it had been previously.
Or that.
Is it still gonna zap us?
Hit it again.
I do that.
Right.
Another attack roll.
roll. Yeah.
Ah, no. It's stuck to my finger. Okay. That one, not quite so much. 8.
Okay, so an 8 does not hit. As your arrow kind of sinks in, it just goes underneath it and then gets carried away.
Oh,
Yeah.
I
not
have
using
darts.
I'm not using my silver ones.
Bruce,
Can
you
I shoot
said,
a basic dart at this thing?
yeah, you can. You totally can. I have a radical question about your darts. Do you?
Yeah, they shoot out of my trunk.
Okay,
That is-
question is answered. I just wanted to
My
make
trunk
sure.
goes into a bag, lifts up, he looks around, and then just slyly shoots it out, pretending like you did nothing.
Okay, make an attack roll.
That is a 24.
Okay, yeah, that hits. Roll for damage.
I rolled a 19. What is this? A 1d4. I got one of these. This is one that hurts when you stand on it.
Yeah, it does.
That is a 6.
Okay, yeah. So with this 6, the rest of you aren't really paying much attention as this elephant man just like puts his nose into a bag, and kind of like looks coyly one way and just thump, as you see this dart just shoot out of his nose and it goes into the water. As you see this generator just pop and fizzle as it comes to a complete halt. And upon closer inspection, you can see that on what looked to be a very important set of circuits, there is just a dart that is just drilled right through them. And
I'm
then,
sure this is not going to have any consequences in the future.
and next
Good
to
job,
it,
horse lady.
Well, maybe if somebody didn't electrify the water, we'd all be good.
who would do such a thing?
Yeah, it's
Sounds
not
like-
like,
You
we
have a
have a
lot of
shark
opinions for
puppy.
being on the wrong side.
All right, so Bruce.
I'm walking back.
So
to-
I just pictured
Okay.
the scene in The Mummy. It's like, we have all the horses.
Now I'm galloping,
Okay.
and I'm gonna take a running jump.
Okay, what is your strength score?
My strength score
Yes.
is 13.
Okay, so you are able to jump 13 feet. Unless you have like a weird centaur ability that's like, you leap twice as far in a horse-like gallop.
I don't think so.
Okay.
Pretty sure not. I get charge, but doesn't do anything for my jumping.
Yeah.
Whatever.
All
If I wanted to spend
Being a
key-
centaur does nothing but make climbing hard.
That is
essentially.
fair. So yeah, you get about a fourth of the way across the river, across
And I
this.
swim from there.
Yep. Okay. So make an athletics check.
Oh, that's a natural one. Goodbye.
As you just get
Water's
pulled
not
down.
even moving.
There's still the whirlpool-like effect that's coming from below, and the generator had just been moving from the actual current of the river coming through. It was just taking advantage of the current that was there.
Oh, dear.
So it's still rotating, but there's nothing coming from it. It is inert.
I imagine like she goes to jump across and then just completely biffs it like splash and then just doesn't come back up.
Well, realistically, have you ever seen a horse swim? They are not the most graceful swimmers. Yeah, so you go into the water and you just immediately start getting sucked down by this whirlpool.
Do you still have that javelin with the rope?
I do. I was gonna
Can you
suggest
throw it at me?
throwing it at her. Oh, at you? No, I was gonna throw it at her.
I was gonna jump in after her, but I can catch a javelin.
Can
True.
you?
Yeah, with his
You
deflect
have
missiles
it.
as a
He's
monk.
a monk.
Yes, he does.
Yeah, it's
He's
not
gonna
barbar.
trunk,
It's not too flat foot because I had to look that up because I'm like, this is gonna be amazing.
So
I'll
it's
punch
more
someone.
it's more like Rocksteady and Bebop. Like he has like 4 mega fingers.
Oh, he's like a.
And I also have a trunk.
Yeah, and his trunk.
Well, my range is only 30 feet. Mathematically, so I can't actually well, I can throw it.
If we time it, I can jump 12 feet.
Wait. I'll scuttle up to the roof and motion for her to throw the javelin at me.
Why
just, like,
didn't you just
Can
take
you
it?
catch it, javelin?
Yeah, why don't you just
Oh.
and walk it over?
I have an intelligence of 7 and I can figure that out.
I thought it would be
Nope,
cool.
just kidding. I go, okay, and I throw it at you.
You can't even.
glug, glug, glug.
Can you catch?
That's a natural 20.
Oh shit!
Sorry.
Oh,
Who are you throwing it at?
he's
Ah,
throwing
the
it
spider
at the
being on
bug
the
boy. Because he said throw it at me.
So I did. Don't worry, it's only 1d6.
Oh my god, this is beautiful.
30 damage. Oh, well.
Oh, you.
No, doubled, because I.
Yep, 2 dice.
So okay, that's 8 plus 10.
So 18.
fine.
Ooh! I thought you were gonna catch it.
He can't catch it.
It's like inside his like side.
So is that just dangling above where the centaur was?
Centaur's still trapped underwater.
Because I'm.
He's gonna
So
like from the ceiling. He's just gonna drop into the water.
Are you down?
No, he's not. I'll find the centaur underwater.
Sorry.
Oh my god. Okay, so make a Constitution saving throw as you have been trapped under the water for another 6 seconds. You're just
Why
trying
do
to
your
hold.
characters always get impaled?
I know, right?
He
Guys,
has a
King.
type.
It's spiking.
wow, really? Constitution saving throw, 19.
Okay. Yeah. So you managed to hold in your breath with your large horseman lungs.
I have 2 sets of lungs.
It's true. You were able to maintain a strong set of air inside of you, and then you just see this kind of bug boy like swimming towards you. I would like for Christ, what was your name? Lox. I would like for Lox for you to make a strength for you to make an athletics check as you swim into the water.
Oh, not bad. 18.
Okay. Yeah. So with your 18, you swim down, no problem, and hand Daka the javelin that has the rope on it.
Yeah, I'm gonna like wrap an arm around her waist and like tug on the rope.
And you can see that as Lox had gotten into the water, where normally you would expect an open wound to kind of bleed red into the water, his is just like this weird bluish color that just sort of seems to be flowing past. That's it.
So,
But yeah, he tugs on the rope for you guys to bring him up. Yeah.
yeah, the two minotaurs will grab the rope and start pulling in.
How heavy is a centaur?
I'm pretty sure 2 minotaurs can drag a centaur.
Do you want to give me advantage, or do you want to?
Oh.
Tyler, do you want to give me advantage,
Yeah,
or do you want to?
sure.
Roll? Okay.
I'll give you advantage.
Oh Jesus!
I
Oh
counted
Jesus!
my size
Went under the
lives
plate.
Determining my carrying capacity.
And this is just a strength check.
Yes.
Okay, not a strength saving throw.
No, this would just be this.
Same.
Yeah, it's just a strength check.
Your eyes.
Fucking. That's a 11. I rolled a 2 and a 6.
Okay.
You go back in the box. You were doing so well this morning.
All your luck ran out when the sun was still down. Pretty sharp.
I know, right? It's
Um,
because I have the
You
windows
took a
open.
short rest and your abilities changed.
Yeah.
You did just roll a 20. Like,
That's true. That's true.
Uh,
But that's
so
to hurt my friends, not help my friends.
Yeah, so you it's actually not too bad because minotaurs as a with their like I think it's like bull-like strength or some
Yeah, they double their push pull. Or,
yeah, your
no.
push pull, so you're actually like an 11 is more than enough to be
Yeah.
able to pull.
I put it in my mouth and just charge at the door.
Oh my god, yes. I love
You guys
it.
come flying out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was your I think it was just your size. Is what it says.
Yeah, probably. Oh my gosh, your cat. Just didn't see it. Hi.
He's glaring at me because I didn't
Oh.
let him flick out of the bowl.
Not loud.
What,
You know,
Scott?
fuck it. You guys are large. I liked that. In this book, apparently minotaurs are medium-sized creatures that are like in Ravnica. Minotaurs only get to be like 6 feet tall,
Ooh.
like 6.5 feet tall. I like your guys' representation of minotaurs better.
Like
Isn't it-
Percy
oh, so-
Jackson, fucking
Yeah.
giant.
Loxodon, then they get the push pull.
Yeah, locks the
Yeah.
one member that's still on the other side of the water who has not at any
Don't
time.
worry.
Oh, so I did get pulled out.
Yeah, you guys got pulled
All
out,
right.
no problem.
I scramble to my feet and I shake off the water and I just spike Locks into the ground.
Touchdown.
How much damage do you take?
Did you see my message, Justice?
We're gonna squish the bug.
How much health do you have, Max?
I was wrong. I doubled my strength.
Oh,
So yeah,
I'm not immediately dead.
sorry.
Yeah.
I
That's
just got
100.
really excited. It was supposed to be +5 instead of +10. So
Yeah.
Are we having a short rest?
go on.
You still get over here.
Yeah, but depending on how I get over there, it could be really amazing, but it really affects my key
Do you
points.
want me to spear you?
I have,
Short answer would be no.
I have a good idea. Why don't you just hand the rope to our little spider friend and have him go over?
And this
No,
large
no, I wanna
shark
do-
puppy
I
just
wanna
looks
do
at you
something
guys.
fancy.
Just
Tuna.
and it hops
What?
in the water. And it just
I'm going-
swims to the
I'm-
other side.
With
And
the
I'm
thing?
gonna hold onto the shark puppy, and it can drag me across.
Yeah, and it just swims you back over.
Physics.
Huh.
And that is the first thing your Loxodon friend says getting out of the water. Physics! And just hops up.
Well, that was easy.
Are you okay, little one?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
You're not
Why not?
little.
You're not small. Well, you're small to me.
Yeah, so that's why I was replying when you said little one.
Oh.
By definition, okay being what now?
Alive
Do you
Yes.
want me to heal you?
with a spear.
All right, time's up. Let's go.
Dak is just squeezing water out of her hair grumpily.
My hair is still in a messy bun.
She'll swat someone with her tail if she walks away.
All right.
Ah!
So yeah, you guys continue on down this corridor, and it seems to jut down to the right and then again to the left, and then you see that it is, and it opens up into what looks like a room, and you can hear this this very loud thrumming sound and whirring sound that you know to be associated with generators. And as you guys get close, you can see that where the previous generator had been underwater, in not exactly the most opportune place for a group of travelers to come walking through. I've also been trying to think, you're not an adventurer in Ravnica, but you could be a concerned citizen. So as our group of concerned citizens makes their way through the sewers, you guys find yourself in a large room, and you see that there are these two large mechanical constructs that look like they that actually have like an imprinted is it signet on each of these front doors, and you can just hear these loud sounds coming from inside. And you see that every once in a while a jet of steam will just coming from these things as they seem to be working. And it is at that point that you make a perception check as you guys enter into this hall.
Is it just looking or is it smelling?
This is going to be a look. It's going to be a look, see?
Oh, look, say.
Just want to smell shit. Yeah, well, that puts me on a 4.
22.
11.
I'm trying to get more of my drink.
So 4, 2, 11,
7.
and 7.
And I got a 15.
All right, so the 15.
Wings was a 22.
Oh! 22 and the 15 both see a what looks to be a set of glowing forms that seem to be coming from down this hall, and they don't seem to be necessarily moving in the direct way that a humanoid would. But instead, you just kind of see like this slinking motion, and then it sort of seems to pool down onto the ground, slink forward, and then kind of pop up as you see what looks to be a large shape that kind of scans around, slinks down. And then once these shapes get to the boiler room, you guys see that there is just these two, I want to say like they look like Capri Sun men pools, like like in the commercials when you would drink a Capri Sun and then like turn into like that pool of silver on the ground. It's like that. But instead of it being pure silver, you see that there are blues and reds, and the red sort of seems to be like pulsing underneath this field of blue. As one of these pools then kind of forms itself into a humanoid shape, and then it looks at the group of you, and then the second one kind of forms into a humanoid shape as well, and it you hear does anybody speak Draconic?
Nope.
Okay, so Locks. You hear these creatures say identification, but in Draconic. So the rest of you hear like Brashusha.
In Draconic, respond back, class 3 scientist?
And its response is provide documentation.
Oh. In Draconic, just, oh.
And you see this other one form next to it, and then they take a step forward towards you. And then in Draconic, you hear it say, both of these now, provide proper clearance for documentation.
Oop.
Can I reach in and
Lux,
sniff up?
what are they saying?
He's going somewhere.
They're saying you're in trouble for being up so long.
And you
Go to
see your
bed.
Simic friend just disappear.
Oh god!
Fuck it! Like, God.
I'm out.
Show him your patch, brother. Do they respond to his patch?
I'm already pointing my bow at them.
Trunks in my bag.
So yeah, you go to show it your patch. And it just sort of looks down at the patch, looks at you, looks at the patch again, looks at the other like metallic creature, and then they both look back at you and say, after proper scanning, or I guess in Draconic,
Yeah.
they will be saying this. They say that this clearance is only for gnomes.
Oh.
Do they take the attacking stance?
Yeah, and
What do
after
we
you had did you hand them your badge or did you just show it to them?
I just showed it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in Draconic, Lox, you heard them say they asked for proper documentation in Draconic and just sort of stood there expectantly, to which your Minotaurs handed them the badge that they had gotten from the gnome. But then the creatures acknowledged that that was security clearance for a gnome.
Well, obviously I'm a gnome.
And now they seem to kind of just be glowing a little bit as they get ready to initiate combat. So I'd like for you guys to roll initiative.
Dun, 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 dun.
Security override?
System meltdown! System meltdown!
I rolled a natural.
Emergency
one.
protocol 1. 2.
I'd like to speak
3.
with an administrator.
15.
Ooh.
Actually, if I were to say, I would
I'm
like
very
to speak with an
dexterous.
administrator.
For an elephant.
Enter
Oh.
password. Shit!
1 1 1 1
What's your
1.
name?
Enter.
Yes.
Shit. 1 1 1 1 2.
You've exceeded your password attempt.
0085.
Please wait 3 hours to try again.
Okay.
Just sit down for 3 hours.
AAA.
So DBLSO. So Daka, what'd you get?
That is a. Oh wait, no, that's a 14.
Okay. Bruce Lee, what'd you get?
15.
Okay. Lox, what'd you get?
Oh, I got an 18.
Okay. And then Shamra.
I got an 18.
Okay. And then Oxlin, what'd you get?
I got a total of 2.
Solid.
What? Okay.
I'm a no.
Obviously.
They would attack slow.
So-
Barry, you're slowly sinking in your frame.
I'm proficient with this.
Oh, okay.
So the creature that you guys see before you looks like this.
Oh, it's
Oh,
Kool-Aid Man.
shit.
Oh yeah.
That's not Kool-Aid Man, that's Lava Man.
It's Capri Sun Lava Edition.
Oh, shit.
I have to Google what
You
a
can drink
Capri
it only
Sun
once.
was.
You had to Google what a Capri Sun was.
Wow.
We don't have that in Australia, so when you're like the Capri Sun man, I was like, the fuck is a Capri Sun?
Okay,
It's like the T1000.
tired
Yeah.
rant.
Okay.
Barry, did you have Dunkaroos?
Yeah,
What'd
Okay,
you call him?
Dunkaroos.
Perfect.
I
Okay,
feel like it would be
continue.
more applicable in Australia where
Right.
kangaroos
Yeah,
are an actual
kangaroo
prevalent thing.
biscuits. I thought they were Australian. Let's find out.
Joke's on you.
Let's attack.
Fucking Murica. Seeing as how Oxlin, you were the one to hand them phony documentation, one of them is going to rear back with its fist and try and pummel you with its hammer fist. So does an 11 hit?
A 11 does not hit.
Okay. So it is unable to do so, and you see that the second one actually absorbs its arms back into its body, and from its center of core, you see this large fist just jut out and try and punch you.
I'm going to use my reaction to use protection,
Okay.
which, while wielding a shield, a creature you can see attacks a target other than you within 5 feet. You can use your reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll.
Okay.
Nice.
So does a 15 hit?
A 15 does hit.
Okay.
Shit. Sorry, I
tried.
tried.
So you are going to take. Okay. Sounds good. You are going to take 8 points of bludgeoning damage
Ouch.
plus 8 points of fire damage.
Ouch again.
He'll be
And
fine.
Walk it off.
Run away.
okay, sounds good. And that is their turns, and they just seem to sort of square off near where this door, or near where this hallway opens up behind them. So next up is going to be Lox and Shemra, depending on which one of you guys wants to act first.
Well, I can do a lot of things, I guess. This is a lot of stuff. Okay. How far away are they from me? Are they right in front of me?
Yeah, they are about, they would be about 10 feet away from you at this point. As your brother kind of like took a step forward to try and alleviate the situation, but to no avail.
So I'm going to step in front of my brother, and I'm going to try and hit one of them with my pike.
Okay.
I'm going to throw a gnome at him.
Praise Saren, right?
And I freaking got a 9.
A 9? Yeah, a 9 is not going to hit.
Okay.
So then next up is Lox.
Okay. I'm gonna scuttle up the wall. And let me see. Cool. So I'm going to magic missile. That's how many D4? 3D4 plus 1
Per missile, yeah.
per missile. So 1, 2, 3, 8 points. No, 8, and then 9, 10, 11 points of force damage.
Woo!
I'm going to expend my 2 sorcerer points to... Wait, no. Reverse that. Meta magic, quicken spell, magic missile. Now I'm going to firebolt.
Okay. Sounds good.
So that is... does a 21 hit?
21 most certainly hits.
That is not going to be... Ooh. 10 fire damage.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So, it looks like it does not take nearly as much of that as you thought that it was going to. And as this fire hits against its chest, you see where it would normally begin to start dispersing, but instead it actually absorbs that fire. And you see this creature actually begin to start growing in size, as now there is a large-sized creature standing in front of you from absorbing this fire damage.
Don't hit him with fire! Don't hit him with fire!
So now there is a large one and a medium-sized one. So, next up is Bruce Lee.
Just
This is your time
you
to
and
shine.
your elemental damage. You like making things difficult for us, don't you?
Yeah. It's fun. We're
I
having
was
fun!
I was talking to Lux, and the lightning which electrified the water, the fireball which made a dude bigger.
How was I fucking supposed to know that was gonna make him bigger?
He's made of.
You weren't. I'm just saying.
He's gonna hit you with
You're
fireballs
having
now.
the best luck. Please don't. Because I can't catch them.
No, you're gonna get bigger then, because my firebolts make things bigger.
I'm just saying you've been very unlucky with your elemental choice damage. I'm gonna shoot my dart at the smaller one because
Okay.
it's smaller. $13.
13 just hits. Roll for damage.
Oh, fuck yes. Oh shit, smaller one. 6.
Okay. And it looks like it takes half of that damage.
Okay, so piercing sucks against it. Fuck this creature. How far away am I from them?
All right. How far away are what?
Am I from them?
You
If I
are
was standing next to the centaur.
you would be 15 feet away from where this creature is.
Okay, I would like to walk up 15 feet. And let's use a key point and do flurry of blows.
Okay,
What's that
sounds
mean?
good.
2 unarmed strikes. Okay. What's an unarmed strike? 22.
Yeah, 22 hits.
And that'll do 4.
All right. So as you punch it, you feel your fist actually sink into this molten body, and you are going to take 6 points of fire damage as you punch against this creature made entirely of what would seem to be a kind of molten material.
Okay. And then because I'm a drunken dude, I get the benefit of disengage action, and I'm gonna walk away. My walking speed increases by 10, so
You have already used your standard action to shoot a dart, and then you were using your bonus actions to do your flurry of blows, so you would not have.
yeah. But whenever I use flurry of blows, I gain the benefit of the disengage action.
Oh, okay, cool.
And your walking speed is increased by 10 until the end of current turn.
Okay.
So
So
I'm
it's like
gonna
50 now?
yeah, minus 15, so I'm at 35. So I'm gonna back up 35 feet because that dude just burned me.
Okay. Yeah, so you back up, no problem. So
Imagine he's just going back like, ow, 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 ow.
And I would have punched him with my trunk too, so it really hurts.
oh, right on the nose. All right, Daka, it is your turn.
All right. Oh,
Boop.
I'm going to attack the closest one with someone next to them.
Okay. You know that they are right next to your 2 Minotaur friends. And there is the large one that seems like it's taken more damage, and then there is a smaller one that has not taken as much damage.
The larger one
Okay.
has a 13.
13 just hits. Roll for damage.
Sweet. Okay. I'm gonna drop sneak attack on top of this because
Yes.
people are next to it. So I'm actually just gonna roll 3d6
Yeah.
because I have 2d6 for sneak attack. All right. That's 9, 13, plus my this 15 damage.
What was the... Are you using different colored dice by chance? Because they don't have... Like, your sneak attack damage won't get reduced, but the piercing from the arrow will.
Oh, I do. Well, I mean, I can.
Okay.
But I didn't do
Okay,
it just now. So just
what is
use
the
one of
medium? What is the median number? The middle one.
4.
Okay, so 4, that'll get reduced to 2.
Okay.
And then you will deal the rest in your sneak attack damage, which was how much? You dealt...
The sneak attack damage was 9.
Okay, sounds good. So the large one does not like that at all, as it takes an arrow in its chest, and it seems to like the arrow itself. The wood on it burns up, but the stone arrowhead that your tribe would traditionally use actually just sinks right through it, and you actually hear the clatter sound as this arrowhead just embeds itself into the wall on the other side of this creature. So next up is going to be Oxlin. Oxlin, roll. What are you gonna do?
Oxland's gonna square up next to his sister and try and stab it. The big one.
Okay.
And hopefully hit so he can use sneak attack as well. That is not gonna hit. That's a 10.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, that does not hit.
But as a bonus action.
Your sneak attack, you would have advantage on your hit because there is somebody within 5 feet of you, so roll with advantage.
I don't think you
I don't
get
think it's-
advantage necessarily. It just counts for a sneak attack.
Yeah, it doesn't actually grant.
Okay,
Okay.
cool. I'm
Yeah.
super tired. You guys are way more awake than I am. Let's do that rule.
But I am going to use the help action as a bonus action to help my sister attack.
Okay, sounds good. So next up is the blister coil weird that has been enlarged. as that is the name that it has, is Blister Coil, which I think is a fucking sweet name. It was actually
My
the sound of my
trunk
new
mate.
album, Blister Coil.
Blister Coil. So it is going to rear back with one of its fists against you, Shemra, as you had gotten very close to it and seemed to be acting quite aggressively. So it is going to actually bring back a punch. Like, it looks like it's going to hit you normally, but then you see the fist kind of warp into its central mass, and then it juts out a second fist much closer to where its other arm was to kind of bat at you. As these creatures are liquid in their general makeup and nature, so they don't follow the same physiology as humanoids when they're trying to strike out against things.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what I've justified in my head for it. So I am going to guess that a 13 doesn't hit.
Nope.
Okay, so that was his turn, and then the smaller one is going to strike out against... It's going to strike out against you as well, as you seem to be judging between you and your brother, you very much seem like the bigger threat in this situation.
Let's be honest.
So that is a 23 to hit.
That does hit.
For 4 points of bludgeoning damage, and then 7 points of fire damage.
Okay.
Okay. So that is it for their turn. So next up is Shemra and Lox.
And Shemra, you have advantage on your next attack.
I'm going to exhale out of my nostrils, making a very bovine snorting sound. And then I'm going to attack with my pike again.
Okay.
With advantage, which is a 19.
That hits.
So that does one.
You are 5 feet away from this creature? Or are you attacking the one that was 10 feet away from where you are? Because you can either fight
the bigger one.
Okay, the bigger one is the 5-foot one in front of you.
Okay, yeah. Either way, I have reach. So
Yeah.
Okay. And that does 12 damage.
Okay.
And then as my bonus action, I'm going to...
So as it gets hit, you see fire leap from his body out onto your hand.
Okay.
And you are going to take 2 points of fire damage.
Okay.
As this creature's heated body seems to be dealing damage just from you guys hitting it directly.
Fair enough. And then I'm going to use a bonus... Well, no, maybe I shouldn't do that. Never mind. That's it.
Okie dokie. All right, so next up is going to be Lox.
How high up is the ceiling?
The ceiling is... it would be about 15 feet tall in this room.
Okay. Going to keep that in mind as I cast Magic Missile at 2nd level.
Are you targeting the big one or the little one?
This is a big one. We shall
Okay.
try to finish him off. 3 plus 4. 8, 12. 16 points of force damage.
Yeah, so as this thing gets peppered by all of this force damage, it has no way of defending itself against it, and you actually see that it starts like shambling in its movements as the red glow that was beneath this blue steadily begins to just fade out as this creature just sort of seems to solidify in a statue form. As the internal core of itself dies out, only leaving this pseudo-viscous creature. So, next up, did you have a bonus action?
Is it bonus action to do that? Wait. No, I'm good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
Sounds good. So, then next up is going to be Bruce Lee. You're muted.
You're muted.
in that whole time, I would have been using one of my ears to try and cool my trunk down because it got burnt.
Okay.
Aw.
And I'm going to reach in for another dart, but pass it to my hand this time because my trunk's sore.
Okay.
And let's try and hit this thing.
Sure thing.
Of course, I would have moved within 20 feet of it
Yeah,
because that's my range.
15 feet forward throw.
What is that? That is a dirty 20.
Okay, that hits. Roll for damage.
And that is 6 damage.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna chill back here.
Alrighty, sounds good. Then next up is going to be Daka.
Swords out. I'm gonna come in for a drive-by.
Okay.
It's 15 feet away from me. Yes.
Yes.
The big boy. Big boy's the only one left.
No, the big boy, actually, that was the one that stopped moving. There's just the
That was-
medium-sized one, yeah.
Okay, so the little one. All right, I'm coming in for the little one
Okay.
with both my swords. So, first attack is a 21.
21 hits.
All right, and the second attack is a not great, like a 7.
Okay, yeah, 7 does not hit, but the 21 will.
Here comes the damage plus sneak attack because there's still someone next to it, right?
Yes.
All right, damage plus sneak attack. It's 1 sword damage and 7 sneak attack damage.
Okay.
And since I'm mobile, if I make an attack against something, it cannot. I cannot provoke opportunity attacks.
Sure.
So I'm just going to keep on going.
Sounds good. So yeah, you just swing by it, but you will take 7 points of fire damage as you slash into this thing as just this molten core from its inside spills out onto your hands.
That's fine. I'm going to. What is it? 38. I'm going to take 35 feet just in a straight line
Okay.
behind it.
Yeah, sounds good. So you are now behind this guy. And if you go behind him where he was, you are actually going to be going down into a hallway.
That's fine.
Yes.
Go down to the end of the hallway, turn around. Ready for round 2.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, so you have fought against this guy. That is totally fine. So then next up is Oxlin. Oxlin, what are you doing?
How does this thing look?
It looks fairly injured, but not bloodied.
Okay.
If it had blood anyways, I mean, it doesn't, but you get what I mean.
Alright, I'm going to. Am I in melee range with it right now?
Yes,
Or...
you're currently within melee range.
All right, whatever. At the risk of getting burned, I'm just going to stab it with my short sword,
Okay.
or stab at it. And that's a 12.
12 does not hit.
Yep.
So it does
And
not
then
actually splash any fire at you.
And then I'm still going to help Shimmer.
Okay, sounds good. So next up is this last one. And it is going to... it would strike out against Daka, but Daka is doing the Mongolian horde tactics of just running by and shooting arrows like as Gruul can be. Love it. So it is going to strike out against Shemra. And that is not going to hit. So that is it for its turn. Then next up is going to be Shemra.
All right, I'm gonna. Is it within 5 feet of me?
This one is 10 feet away from you, but you could easily take a 5-foot step forward to get within 5 if you wanted.
Why would I want to do that? I have reach. I'm gonna stab at it with my pike
Okay.
With advantage.
with advantage because my brother's the best. All right. Oh, I rolled 2 12s, so it doesn't matter. But it's a 19.
Nice. Roll for damage.
Okay. That is 9 damage.
Okay. Reduced to 4. Yeah, he is looking very injured now.
No, I'll save it.
Alrighty, sounds good. Next up, Locks.
Locke's is gonna crawl all the way up to the ceiling and like look up, down at the creature.
Mm-hmm.
Pulls out a dagger and just like aims it, and then just lets it drop
Okay.
with a backspin.
Sure. Make an attack roll.
Oh, natural 20.
Nice. Roll for damage.
Yeah. 6, 9 points of piercing.
Okay. This thing is officially bloodied. He's not looking happy. That is for dang sure. Then next up after Locks, unless you had a bonus action that you wanted to do?
Yeah, I'm gonna blow 2 sorcerer points and restore one of my spell slots.
Okay. Sounds good. Next up is going to be Bruce Lee.
Okay, let's throw another dart.
Okay. Let's keep shooting darts out of your snots.
Oh, that is not good. That's only a... Oh, wait, no. That's a 9, not a 6. Okay, that's a 14.
All right, 14 hits. Roll for damage.
Yeah. Come on, terrible die. Another 6.
Nice. All right. So
Is it dead?
No, it takes half damage, and it is still holding itself together decently well. But again, you know that there is a lot of your attacks that you're actually landing aren't able to do their full extent of damage against this creature. But it does seem like it is taking a significant amount of damage from what you guys have actually dealt onto it. So next up is going... did you have a bonus action or movement that you want
I'm
to
just
do?
trying to remember how many people go before it.
Go before
It
it?
is.
It is at
Yeah,
the top of the round,
so-
and then it is your entire team, and then it.
So there's 2 more people, if I'm going by memory.
Yep.
So
Because elephants never
oh,
forget.
wait, I am not gonna burn myself trying to end this thing to save you. I'm done.
Okie dokie. So next up is going to be Daka.
Comes another drive by.
Okay.
Ooh, natural 20.
This is not a trap.
That's been
And
going
then,
on in my head the
a-
entire time.
And then the second attack is 14.
Okay, those will both hit. So with your crit, you will also double the number of sneak attack dice. Rogues can get nasty, yo.
Oh,
Rogues can't get nasty.
come back. Okay.
No.
Oi.
So did they both hit?
Yes, they both hit.
All right, and I can only do sneak attack once. So here comes
The boom.
let's see, that is +2. So that's 11 sword damage.
Okay.
Here comes sneak attack. That is 5 plus 8.
Ooh.
So 13 sneak attack damage, and here comes regular damage from other sword. I keep going.
All right. So as you slice this thing up and you continue on by, you actually take out you drive your sword through its center core, and you see this thing kind of like seize up and then just turn to that same gray stonish color that the other one had as they seem to stop in place. And you
Chicken
have
part with my hooves.
yeah, and you just bring your hooves up, rear, and smack it down, and it just hits the ground and shatters. And it seems to break off into an almost pumice-like rock. It's very porous in and of itself. But that takes you guys out of combat. So you're still in this generator room, and you currently have these 2 blister coil weirds that have extinguished due to wonderful teamwork. What would you guys like to do? You see that there is a hallway that extends out in front of you.
I have a question. If I were to keep peppering it with fire bolts and it got to a large enough size, would it have exploded?
Yes, and then reverted back to a medium size.
That means
Interesting.
there's-
Good to know, though.
Yes.
That'd be really good for like going to war. So like have those guys on your side and then just like shoot it with firebolt so that it explodes while it's amidst the ranks of everybody else.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hell
Intelligent.
yeah.
I'm going to knock them over so that they break.
Yeah.
Honestly, we should drag them over to the river and then dump them in.
Good idea, little one.
Why?
I do that.
If they revert back to their normal form, then they'll cause trouble when we come back.
Ah.
Yeah, and so
I
you
wonder if that
guys.
creature had as much trouble getting through the Izzet security as we are.
I don't think so, because it was carrying one of you guys quite easily.
Yeah.
And then spun its head around.
All right, so you guys are moving these bodies back over to the river and setting them down. Cheapers. And then setting
Cheapers
them-
creepers.
And then setting them down into the river that you guys had passed over, and then are making your way back to this steam vent room. And you see that there is that hallway that kind of extends out past where you guys are. What would you guys like to do?
Well, does it seem like the creature went down that way?
Yes, as there is
Does
from where you guys have been following and going kind of deeper into the mine, or not into the mine, into the maze, you would believe that this is generally the direction where you would expect it to go. At least, Daka, that is where you have kind of been kind of tracking it. You've seen its footfalls and dust kind of leading up to the river that was in front of you, but then you couldn't track it after that, but you did see that there were some wet footprints that kind of extended into the steam room, but then those had evaporated. And there's only one exit out of this room without going into a steam vent, which just... That does not sound like a good idea. That doesn't sound like a good idea to anybody.
Well, maybe not for us, but for this creature, maybe. Only one way to go.
Into the steam vent?
No,
Rather not. Rather not.
me neither.
Yeah, so you guys continue down that hallway, and you see that it breaks off into a T, and then with the same kind of tracking skills that you have had prior, you begin kind of searching around and investigating. So I'd like for whoever is in the lead to make a survival check as I
Do
pick
it.
stuff up off of
God,
the
that's a lot of
floor,
dice.
so.
She just says a tower.
22.
Okay.
Steve's passed out.
Yeah, I died. I'm back now. Resed. It's fine. Resed, not rest. So yeah, you end up navigating your way through, and you can kind of see these little footfalls in the dust pattern as it continues to go. And now you have a better sense of where you need or feel like you need to be going anyways. And as you guys continue down this hallway, you see what looks to be a large form that shares a similar silhouette to two of your companions, as you see that there is just this kind of a large minotaur-esque form. And as it begins kind of like moving towards you guys, generally it seems more like it's shambling than properly moving forward. And at one point it raises a large cleaver to your group. As you see, its body actually begins to fall away onto the ground underneath it, as it looks like piles of large maggots begin to swarm, and they begin to come towards you guys. So we are going to use the same initiative tracker as last time, but you see this large skeletal minotaur pointing out towards you guys with these swarms of insects that seem to be creeping up to you as well.
I place my hand on my chest in what might seem like shock, but I lay on hands myself.
Okay.
5.
I take a step back.
Okay.
I take a crawl up the wall.
Bye.
And then there's just your Loxodon friend being like, fucking A. Like,
I'll take a step forward.
Okay.
They're only worms.
Worms.
They leak
You
acid
need
onto you,
Maggots,
healing.
worms. You need bait to catch fish, and
What are you even saying?
I have no idea.
That's the beauty
Give me a
of
break,
being a
okay?
monk.
It's 6:15 in the morning. Shut up.
Oh,
Yeah.
buddy.
You're fine. So
Do you?
yes. So yeah, there is a large minotaur skeleton that seems to be pointing its large great axe towards you guys. And then you also see that there are these swarms of grubbins down on the ground. So the Minotaur Skelly Man.
It's probably going to be the least of our worries.
I think the silver weapons will help here.
Do you?
What silver weapons? I am a weapon, remember? Trying to act cool, and I got nothing to help me with this fight.
Okay, so it is actually going to be the top of the round with Lox and Shemra.
I'm going to try to control undead.
Okay.
As an action, you can target one undead within 30 feet to force a wisdom saving throw. My DC is 11. Sorry.
Okay.
Failure, the target must obey me for 24 hours.
So I think my eyes are kind of screwy. What does this one look like to you guys? All right, so
Our party just gets bigger. Like
yeah, he grows like 2 sizes and breaks through the ground, turns into a Tarask, and just starts stomping through Ravnica.
Told you the worms were our biggest
set it
threat.
on us.
So I just step forward and I hold out my hand, and in Minotaur speak, I say, "You are mine now," and I close my hand.
Okay, sounds cool as shit.
Thanks.
I am down for this.
Edgy.
Yeah, so it is totally down with what you're all about. Lox, it is your turn. And you see that this like glowing red eyes that this undead creature have, as soon as the undead control takes over, you see those eyes actually flash to a violet color, and now they're just little purple flames that seem to be coming from what look to be dark black cores.
And
So-
I turn to you and I go,
Nice.
I'm just gonna cast Firebolt on the maggots.
Okay.
Does a 12 hit?
I believe so.
These maggots are covered in adamantium.
These maggots dodge out of the way.
These maggots are actually super cool and don't suffer the same effects. Greybeard says that he was cut off for a little bit, had to run the hardware store, Twitch had bombed out. What can us out here to help you folks get cranked?
I've just put some music on, so I'm off.
Alrighty, so
"I'm good. I've got my cat." We've hyped up a little bit. We were yawning there for a while.
it's been a
Are
day.
you? Like, go get yourself.
No, it hasn't. If it had been a day, you'd be finished.
Cat. So you were casting a firebolt against a swarm of these beasties. Roll to hit.
Oh yeah, I rolled 12.
Okay, roll for damage.
9 points of fire damage, mister.
Okay, 9 points.
These maggots absorb it and get larger.
They turn into like 800,000 maggots. So yeah, you kind of hear like these little gross squelchy shrieks as your firebolt hits into this swarm and seems to actually deal a decent amount of damage to the lot of them. So next up is actually going to be one of these swarms that then comes, and who is leading the charge?
I was in front.
Okay,
I mean, like,
so they are going to bite out at you. And a 7 does not hit. So don't even worry about that.
Are they ending their turn next to me?
Yes.
I can move,
Okay.
and so I do.
Alrighty, sounds good. So you move very quickly away, back down the hallway, or are you rushing forward?
How many swarms are there?
There are 3 swarms currently.
All right, where's the other swarm?
Only one seem to have moved forward. The other 2 are still in the back, and they don't look like they move very quickly at all.
I'll back up.
Okay.
I rear up and move back behind everybody else.
The weird horseback shuffle.
Yeah.
Excuse me, coming through. Just yep. Watch. I can't see properly. Move.
All right. So as you back up, I believe it'll provoke an attack of opportunity from it.
Nah, not with Scout. If enemy finishes within 5 feet of you, you can move up to like 10, 15 feet without provoking attack.
That seems
At half my speed. I could technically go back like 25 feet.
that's pretty fucking good. So you move back, no problem. As you see these little like limp bugs just and like try and like nibble out at you, but it's like whatever, man. Like fuck these things.
Worse. Yeah.
So next up is going to be Bruce Lee.
Wah. I'm guessing I'm near that swarm because while the Minotaur's backed up because they're pansies.
I didn't back up, bitch.
You said you backed up, okay?
I back up.
Because you put your hand on yourself like, and cast.
I backed up.
Bruce Lee walked forward because he's a tough elephant.
Okay.
Is that what he is? Okay then.
Because he wanted bait, because you can't catch fish without bait, remember?
Yeah.
That's
No, I hear
true.
what you're saying. Still doesn't make sense.
Doesn't have to when you're Bruce Lee. Let's try an unarmed attack on. Let's just walk up to the first bunch of things and just try and
Stomp
bop them
it.
with my nose.
Okay.
Oh.
Can I stomp? Yeah, because I have big flat feet. Let's stomp them.
Okay.
One-arm strike with my foot.
rather than just leaning forward and going.
It's like a hunt and peck keyboardist versus somebody who's like used to typing.
Please, that is a 7?
All right, a 7 actually does not hit these grubs.
Okay, well, I'm going to use a key point because I doubt these guys are going to burn me. And I'm going to use my nose. Dude, leave.
Worms don't burn?
They shouldn't. Come on, that's a 10?
A 10 does hit.
Yes.
Nice. Woo! They're not hard to hit.
And that is a 7.
Alrighty.
Did I kill them?
So, was this the one that your friend had previously? Yeah, this would be the one that your friend had previously damaged. No, it looks like it still has a little bit of health left in it.
Okay, well, I did flurry of blows, so I'm taking my second attack.
Okay. Dude.
Again with my nose, because that hit. 12.
Okay, 12 hits. It's your flurry of nose.
Do you wanna do me a favor and move up so I can get sneak attack and move up next to the next worms?
Yeah, if these things don't die with 6 damage.
6 is exactly what you needed to clear off that.
Okay, well, the way I'm killing him is I'm sucking them all out with my nose, and I'm just going to shoot him out across the room because.
Gross. Okay.
Disgusting.
I
Cleaning.
love it.
And
I love
then,
it so much.
knowing that I have a couple of rogues, I will continue with my drunken technique special because I use flurry of blows. I can move like the rest. Walking speed increased by 10, so I'll just go stand amongst
Okay.
my other bait.
Amongst.
Yes, amongst them.
Yeah.
So you hop right into the fray. Next up is going to be Daka.
That's me. Here I come. Choo choo. like a train. I'm tired. Dirty 20.
You still have a game to run after this, and yes,
I
it
know.
does.
I could do it. I swear.
You got a game to run and a game to play.
No, my best running is when I'm wangsy. I'm tired.
When you're wangs and not wings.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So the second attack is a 9, so that probably doesn't hit.
A 9 does hit, actually. These are just a bunch of grubs on the ground. You were a horse stomping through them.
I just go running through with my swords down.
Okay.
Beating through them. So, that is 7 sneak attack damage, and then 5 sword damage for the first attack. And I can only sneak attack once, so here comes the other damage, and 4.
All right. So this thing looks incredibly hurt. Like you've killed a lot of the grubs that were in this overall swarm. And now you see that there are a few of them that are still left, and they just sort of still seem to be kind of like moving and shifting around.
All right. I keep on moving, but I move back.
Okay. Sounds good. Then next up is one of these swarms that is going to move forward, and then our Loxodon friend, you are directly on them, yeah? All right, so they are going to attempt to bite out against you.
They deal 36 damage. The fuck?
Nope, they roll a 10. Because I have never
hit.
I have never met a creature before that has a +0 to hit, except for these guys. So it's whatever I have on the dice is what it ends up doing. Yeah. So those guys do not hit you. Then next up is going to be this skeletal minotaur. Who just raises his great axe above his head and swings it down on one of these swarms of grubs. And the grubs yell out, "Why, friend? Why have you done this to us?"
We trusted you.
I trusted you, Anakin. And we will see how much this great axe ends up doing.
This could have been us.
He deals 11 points of slashing damage as he just brings his great axe down and seems to kill half of that swarm in a single blow. Then next up is going to be another swarm. The other swarm that had also gotten heavily messed up. And it is also going to attack out at the Loxodon that is right in front of it. An 11 doesn't hit.
We have the high ground.
Yeah, so that is it for their turns. Next up, at the very bottom of the initiative order, Oxlin.
Yay!
Get it.
I'm gonna move up next to Bruce Lee.
Okay.
Give him a slap on the back. Give bonus action. Give him help.
Oh, want to fight? Bring it.
Give him help for his next attack, and then I'm just gonna stab at the hurt swarm.
Okay.
Next to him. Or
I
hopefully
need to remember I'm not wolf.
That's a natural 20.
Hey! Hey! Guess what? You get to double your sneak attack damage. That's really cool.
Against some worms.
12.
Bonk, 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 bonk.
I'm gonna show these maggots who's boss.
Maggots!
Maggot.
It comes out to 24 damage total.
How much?
24 damage.
Yeah, you, without even the slightest bit of effort, just, come on, buddy, I'll show you how it's done. Yatta! And like you just stab all of these things super quick, no problem. It's kind of like you're playing the fabled the time honored tradition of like the hand stabby game, but you're just doing it with maggots really quick. And you
There's 2 maggots on my sword.
oh
Was
yeah.
it
Cook them up.
I have all my fingers, the knife goes chop chop chop.
And then Sherma, it is your turn, or Shemra.
Sure.
Is
Sure,
there
wow.
still one swarm
There is
left?
still one measly swarm left.
That's what I said, Kat. I'm gonna pike it.
Dude.
Yeah! Do it.
I don't get advantage, right? You didn't
No, it's alright.
That's
I
okay.
helped Bruce Lee.
That's okay.
mean, if you have the option to
don't
help
need it.
Bruce
I got a
Lee.
17.
Advantage
Yeah,
on
that'll
my
hit.
next
Roll
attack
for it
or
damage.
react.
Oh, that's only a 6.
Okay, that is actually all that it had left in it.
Sweet.
Nice.
So now, as you guys exit out of combat, you just have this Minotaur skeleton that brings its hand up and kind of gets down on one knee and bows in front of your paladin friend. And I use huge quotes on paladin because Oathbreaker.
Yeah.
Is the skeleton bigger than the rogue one?
Yes.
You're still the smallest Minotaur, and one's dead.
He's always
This
the
Minotaur
smallest.
is actually it is also a large size creature.
Counts.
You're a runt.
I take offense to that.
You are small too. I walk up to him and I say, "Rise."
You're the locks
He
of the
just
Minotaurs.
stands up next to you with this great axe in its hands.
Mm-hmm.
It's totally down to fuck some shit up. But I believe it's time for a potty break. If we've had it,
Yeah.
is that around the time? I've lost track of when we've had breaks. So
Guys,
Yeah.
We had break an hour and a half ago.
Yeah.
I haven't
Yes.
lost track.
all right, sounds good.
Harry is painfully aware of every single moment that's
When-
passed.
when we were going to that
past- I'm
fight,
past that wall. I'm awake again.
I was playing Five Finger Fillet, and I'm really good at it when I'm really tired.
And then we.
It's
brought
always
it
the
up.
time to try it to see if you are good at it. Or
All
not,
right.
Too.
I'm gonna go use the bathroom real quick then, and I shall
Okay.
return.
All right.
Yes.
Meet my
Did,
cat.
did you put us on break, Endor?
Indoor.
You did not.
Okay. Just so everyone's aware, we've raised $665 for Extra Life so
Oh.
far.
Wow.
Thank you, everyone. We have on our team we have Graybeard, Justice, Indoor, myself, Leaf, Eric Ruslow, and Alexander Aloy.
I don't know who
Sorry,
those
that was a
people are.
question mark. I don't know why. But yeah, so far we've raised $655 for Extra Life.
Good job. team.
Yay.
I'm proud.
Nice.
When's the team thing end?
I think I'm like $50 away from my goal.
Yeah, you have 150 raised. Indoor has 135, and then Graybeard is the boss with 190 so far.
Motherfucking Graybeard.
So yeah, we are doing great.
Radiohead?
Grabby keeps hitting armor, suits of armor with weapons.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of cheating.
Mm-hmm.
He's like actually fighting something.
Thanks for putting us on break there, buddy.
Yep.
Look at him. He's like,
I think we should all get up and do 5 jumping jacks.
My
I
legs
think you
could
can
not.
Go do that yourself.
I'm gonna let you know this right now. I'm pretty sure if I did 2, I would die.
How about crunches?
Just gonna stand.
What the
and
fuck is
stretch.
wrong with you? I
Yeah, just I'm
stand.
gonna do some cat squats.
Oh, thank you, JD. Yes, we're doing the stretches. We're doing
God's work.
God's work, RJ.
I kick ass for the Lord. I'm so tired, guys.
Wake up, RJ.
Oh, you have your headphones on.
I do. I can hear you.
So
Well,
the thing
Frankie.
After I
is,
sleep,
I
if work isn't on because broken oven and you need to get some sleep, RJ, if you need,
I could honestly just sleep on the train.
He's
Have a-
distressed. He does
yeah,
not like
curl that cat. Cat curling. It's the newest craze.
Calisthenic, cat aesthetics.
oh, no.
cat
Calicat aesthetics.
aesthetic.
You're unconscious with a cat on you, you'd be catatonic.
That's a
Ugh.
Alrighty.
Awaken.
Awaken. Awaken. Awaken. Awaken. Awaken. Take the land that must be taken. Rise some from
My
your
perfect
thousand
song.
year old sleep. Oh, Tripsy, yay!
Tripsy, yeah.
I love JD's cat, Tripsy. A good cat.
Why does everyone have cats and nobody else have dogs?
I have a
Because
sister.
we're cat people.
Because I don't have a yard.
Dogs are amazing.
Game. No yard. No yard, no dog.
No dog,
We're
no
not
yard.
allowed to have pets.
No game, no life.
Like, cats think they're your boss. Dogs are just like, you're my boss.
And they're totally A-OK with that. So, we have come back from our stretch break. Oh, boy.
Frankie.
Oh, you got some competition on the cat cuteness.
No.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Multiple cats.
Are you cracking open a Red Bull?
Yes.
I'm drawing attention to it.
That's okay.
Good.
I've got another one somewhere.
I have a second yerba hiding out somewhere, but I think I'm just going to do water for right now. 'Cause-
Water's
I
not
have
a bad idea,
music.
actually.
Yes.
So long.
So you guys have continued on. You ended up fighting this weird Minotaur-esque creature, and then you continued down the hallway. Or what is your guys' plan? Actually, I don't think I asked.
How healthy is everyone?
Do I think that this is? I have a vague idea that this might be the same Minotaur we saw, Dude Bro carrying earlier, and that it just got stripped.
Make
That's what I
a
wanted to do.
survival check.
I will do that, but not at advantage. Oh, that's a 23.
Okay. So with your 23, you would know that the coloration on this creature's bones seems to indicate that it died much longer ago than if you had quickly stripped a creature of all of its flesh and grime and everything like that. It seems a little too clean, a little too dry to have actually been previously inside of a body recently.
She's like just walked up to it and like is literally just holding it by the jaw and just kind of moving its head back and forth.
Yeah,
She's
it's
like,
totally
it's
letting
not
you.
the same. It's not the same one.
Oh.
Be
Well.
gentle.
She just lets go of him.
And it just kind of spins around a couple times before eventually finding itself righted. It was slightly off, so then you correct it back. But yeah, so Bruce Lee has postulated a good question, which was how are all of you guys looking health/damage wise?
I'm
Well,
pretty hurt.
thanks to D&D Beyond, we can find out.
Oh yeah.
Hurt.
Don't do it. Get on out.
D&D.
Yeah, we can't because the one person I'm really asking isn't on D&D Beyond.
I'm actually on D&D Beyond, but not on the campaign because there's too many people.
Oh.
Yeah, so the one who took the spear.
I'm at 17 out of 30.
Oh shit.
That spear chunked me to nearly half.
So
I'm at 13 out of 29.
18 out of 25.
Yeah, I think we should just sit down for a bit.
short break.
Short break.
Yeah.
I
Because
actually
then I get my key points back.
And how long is the control undead last? Is it infinite?
24 hours.
That's pretty baller. So yeah, you can set your undead sentinel to kind of just do sentinel related things as you guys sit down and take a short rest here in these steam vented hallways. So feel free to roll hit die to regain health points.
Where do you find the hit die on?
Your hit die is you are a monk, so that should be 1d8 plus your con modifier, and you have a number of d8s equal to your level.
Okay. No, yeah, I only needed one. That got me back up from my Bernie punch.
It's a D8 for rogues, right?
This
Yes.
character shit.
Each D8 gets the con modifier, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Shit,
I think the
man.
only one who isn't a d8 is Lox.
Mm,
Me. I'm a D10.
I'm a D6.
Alrighty.
I'm fully
Plus
healed
three.
and got all my key points back, so I'm happy.
I actually kind of want to know, how old is the bones on the Minotaur?
How old are the bones on the Minotaur, man? Make
Dry bones.
Make a survival check.
Can
Yeah,
I
where?
make a medicine check? It's
Oh yeah, short rest.
Yeah, I'll
There
say
we go.
medicine check.
Okay, cool. 19.
Okay, so you would know that these bones are they're roughly about 2 weeks old, like having been like stripped and dried kind of thing. Like there's no extra meaty bits still clinging to them. They do look clean. But it does seem like a kind of older skeleton. And after some of the experiments that you've done and just seeing bones in general, things like that, exposed on multiple occasions, you have a pretty good idea of,
It's,
yeah.
He looks left, looks right, and then like just
Just taste some.
licks the bones. He's like, judging how porous it is, I'd say about 2 weeks.
Yeah, and your lick to taste confirms the time.
Gross.
It's a lick test. Some people do it to confirm rock and bone.
Do you have another javelin?
I have many javelins.
If he licks it again.
He is small. He cannot harm it.
As Shark Puppy is still just hanging out.
Yeah, I stomp the ground when he goes to lick it again, like a horse.
Okay. The Shark
yes.
Puppy just kind of gets a little like doesn't.
I'm just gonna go over to Tuna and scritch her.
Oh, is she just like hanging out, like just a happy pupper? I mean, she's a medium-sized creature, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to lean down to her and look her in the eyes and trying to like see in her soul and see what she's about. I'm gonna try and Becky her from Finding Dory. Ooh.
Okay. Make
Ooh,
a
Becky.
animal handling check.
Okay.
Well, I could tell you, I kind of spliced her together between
17.
Okay, so you see, like, looking into this thing's eyes, and it's kind of weird as it doesn't have, like, dog eyes or, like, shark eyes kind of deal. It looks more like it has, like, the cat eyes, where they're very thin slits. And it is, it looks at you, as you're kind of, like, seeing all what it's about. I'm going to say, RJ, what is your shark puppy? What is your shark puppy about?
Well, sorry, Locke's explaining. Well, I spliced together her form and DNA between a sand shark and a Labrador retriever.
Oh
Bred for ferociousness, loyalty, but slightly reduced IQ.
Smart. I give Pat.
What is the IQ of this thing?
Uh,
It's
not
gotta
much
be
less
higher
than
than LB.
let's find out. Well, an average, we're taking the statistics of a dire wolf, so in
Smarter.
3.
It's a beast. Most beasts don't peak past that 3 intelligence, and even then, 3 is highly intelligent for a beast.
Did you hear that, LB? Your
I heard
character's
that,
not
Mary. I
intelligent.
did hear that. Thank you for
You're welcome.
subscribing, Tyler.
Yes.
You're the best,
Thank you.
Tyler.
Alrighty.
Anyways, we finish our short rest, and then what do we have in front of us?
You guys don't have anything that's like immediately like presented itself in front of you. But you do see that there are further extensions down this hallway. And it seems to go after the another quick switchback of just that again, that very sharp right followed by a sharp left. You guys actually see what extends as this hallway kind of breaks up into 3 different corridors that you can take. Make a survival check, Daka, as you navigate through this maze.
Navigation. That's a 20.
Okay, so
20 something.
yeah. So looking at these different hallways, you can kind of just see through this clever ruse of hallways. It seems like the ones on the right and the left get absolutely no foot traffic ever, and it's really just a straight shot through this tunnel. And you guys continue onward through there, and that is when you reach another T in the hallway. But again, now you kind of have a better understanding of these footprints and of the way that it seems to be going, just kind of deeper and deeper in. And so you manage to continue on, just kind of looking around and figuring out a better way that you could potentially track this creature. And that is when you see directly in front of you that there is a large set of these of what looks to be a red iron door that has the is it symbol that is just kind of like embossed into the metal itself, and an immediate left directly in front of that door kind of juts down the hallway, and you can see, kind of judging by these footprints, that is where the creature is going. And then as you get closer, you guys see that there is what looks to be a stretch of hallway that goes on for roughly about 60 feet before it opens up into a larger chamber, and you don't see from where you guys are an exit way outside of this chamber. But
this chamber is past that door?
This chamber is before that door. So there is a large door, and then directly in front of it, from your guys' vision, is a hallway that extends outward.
No obvious way to open the door?
No obvious way to open the door.
Does it have handles?
It does not, but it looks like it has a circular indent in between the two these two large pieces of wrought iron that have that is its symbol on it. Which I would say Oxlin and Shemra, you guys can make history checks based on this.
I'm going to trot up to the door and crack it with my front feet.
Okay. So,
might as well try.
10.
Okay. No.
5.
Okay, so with your 10, you would know that different guilds will utilize their guild signet to actually open up specific areas that are of interest for their guild. And without one, you aren't able to actually pass by that threshold. So all that really leads is that hallway that leads left down away from where you guys are.
But
that was before this jump door.
Wow. The creature's tracks.
The creature's tracks signify that they are going down that left-hand hallway.
Okay.
We still not have the badges from when we took it off the gnome, or when.
I mean, wow, Frankie is noisy.
Just
He's
shrieking.
upset because we haven't refilled his bowl.
Me and Frankie feel the same way. You
I'll go
didn't fill up
refill
my
the bowl.
bowl.
Continue.
All right, so
If anything comes, I attack.
okay, sounds good. Yeah,
But we don't have any signet or anything. We just have that one piece of cloth that I was pretending to use. So I guess, we don't have to go through there because it looks like the creature's path is the other way.
Let us follow it.
Yes, right.
okay. So yeah, you guys follow down this long corridor, and that is when it kind of stretches again down these familiar switchbacks, or at least they feel familiar at this time, as you guys have been going down through this maze for what feels like several hours at this point. Although it's hard to keep track of time for most normal races down here. Both of you Minotaurs are just having. This is fine. This is child's play.
It's just another walk
Who
in the
even
park.
designed this maze? Some sleep-deprived maniac during a
Amateur.
previous stream? Definitely not. And so you guys continue down until you eventually find yourself inside of inside of a large room. And this room doesn't have any discernible exits or entryways, but it is dimly lit. And it looks like it has, it's about low light for the first 10 feet up, and then it looks like it is dim all along the upper portions of this room. So the top, it's about a 20-foot tall room, and so it's 10 feet of light and then 10 feet of just very dim light, and you guys can make out what look to be several shapes that are all kind of placed up along these taller walls, or up along the walls, and you can see that there is a larger shape similar in size and features to a minotaur, and you can see that there are other smaller shapes, other medium-sized ones, and it looks like there are about four different sized shapes that are all kind of spread throughout the upper echelons of this room. And as you guys kind of all come in, thank you, Zaz45, for the follow. That was very kind of you. And as you guys enter into this room, you hear a cackling coming from behind you. Just as you see the air ripple in front of you, and from that ripple, you see what looks to be a large purple sphere, kind of, or not sphere, but a disc kind of opens up that's from the ground going up, and through that portal, you see that there is thank you for the bits, Graybeard. You see that there is what looks to be a little horrifying man. That is elven in feature, and you can see that that like the arm that this elven creature had, the bone is just jutting out of it, coming from its arm, and you can see, oh, thank you for gifting the sub, JD. And you can see that there are other bones, and you can see that there are like worms and stuff coming out of this creature as it just kind of looks at you. And the skin around its lower teeth has kind of been bit off and chewed out as this black tongue hangs out. And it just begins to cackle and kind of shriek at you, and you see it just as it begins just vomiting these bugs onto the ground. And I would like for you guys to roll for initiative.
Would you like me to roll for my friend?
For your friend? Yes.
Okay.
It's 14.
All right, let me show you a picture.
She's very good at this.
You should play Minotaur more often.
Yeah.
You guys see
And you haven't been one shot, so
what looks to be this guy.
Gross.
Ew.
Yes.
Gross.
looks how I think most of us feel.
Right?
Alrighty.
Come on, guys, get hype.
Get hype! Let's switch on the battle music! Shit, I don't have anybody to turn on the battle music for me. That's fine. It'll be okay. This creature has thrown up what look to be 2 swarms of these creatures, of these worm things that you guys had seen covering the Minotaur's body, or the undead Minotaur's body. That guy gets a 2. Then he gets a. This guy gets. How's that for battle music? Now that's gonna be stuck in my head. Also, Twitch says that we've been at this for 12 hours and 51 minutes, so...
Fucking liar.
I'll say I'm only halfway there.
Feels like we've been at this for days.
I mean, I kind of have, because I got 2.5 hours of sleep last night after DMing a game before starting this, so...
Oh gosh, why?
Idiot.
I am surprisingly awake, like, compared to extra lives that I've been a part of. I'm feeling good. I say that now, but wait until 10 o'clock when we start LB's game, and or 8 o'clock, and it's like, my face is numb.
Oh, don't you
I
worry.
have no spirit.
Don't you worry.
All you have to do is just release your inner petrol petulant child who just wants to go to sleep, and that's fine.
I thought you were gonna say release your inhibitions.
Release your feel the rain on your skin.
Okay, so we have Lox, Bruisley, Daka, Oxlin, and Shemra. So, Lox, what did you get for initiative?
20.
You got the 20. All right, so Bruisley.
18.
18. All right, Daka.
Oh, that is a 14.
Okay, Oxlin.
A 9.
Okay, and Shemra.
I got a 14 for me, and I rolled a 13 for the Minotaur.
Okay.
Whatever that he gets a plus or minus.
I would not want to run into this, no. No, that's not Lox's voice. Hold on.
This is the thing we're killing, right?
You would believe so.
I believe so.
You would believe that, yeah.
If this is the last fight, it's good because I'm running out of gas.
So
I'm totally making a character who speaks like that. It's gonna be so good.
So all of you need to actually make a wisdom saving throw as this thing
For
begins
what?
to this demonic inherent ability.
What's it
rat.
do?
It
Is
will
it trying
make
to
you-
frighten me?
Yes, it is.
I have advantage against that.
Congrats.
Against being charmed or frightened. So what kind of save is it?
Wisdom.
Wisdom.
I'm actually wise.
So I have
Ish.
18.
Okay, 18's good.
19.
19's good.
19.
Okay.
14.
14 is also good.
Oh.
9.
You are
Oh.
frightened for 1 minute. The frightened creature can repeat its saving throw at the end of each of its turns. The creature must succeed on the saving throw against this ability. So you guys are immune to this thing's violate corpse ability. Just a disgusting name, but
Yeah.
like flavorful. Except
Oh,
our
no.
centaur friend, who is actually pretty frightened after putting on a very bold face this entire trip. Seems to have just the heebie-jeebies at this. So,
The horse half of me finally took over.
yeah. And the horse half says, "Get the fuck out." And
Nay,
so,
we are not doing this. That's a nay from me.
yeah. So that was its turn. That was actually a bonus action. Neato. So what it is going to do instead is that it is going to go up to who had led the charge into the room.
Usually me.
Okay.
Usually.
Yeah, so he is going to come up towards you, seeing the fear in your eyes, and he is going to try and make a tendril attack against you. So, does a 21 hit?
Yes.
Okay, so
Does 43 damage kill you?
Maybe.
I need to call my lawyer and ask. So that is going to be 17 points of necrotic damage.
Ouch.
Ooh.
Ouch.
And
And
there's always an and.
your
And?
overall hit points are reduced by 1.
Oh no.
I thought it was going to be 17.
yeah, me too. I was
No.
like, well.
No. Nothing that rude. Yes, that is what it is currently using on its turn. So that is it for its go. Next up is going to be Lox.
Okay. I'm going to. So what's the situation? It's like swarm duder?
Yeah, the duder had thrown up these swarms onto the ground and then seemed to step over them to actually get into a melee range with your centaur ally.
Did the centaur run away
Oh.
with the...
The centaur
Yeah.
has to run away
Reaction.
on their turn, not as a reaction.
No, with the reaction or scout, if it ends within 5... If any enemy was within 5 feet, they can...
Yeah. If he ends his turn next to me, then I have a reaction to move.
Yeah, which you can. And as part of the fear condition, you would have to move as far away from him as possible.
Is it just the frightened condition?
Yes.
Or because I don't need to move?
Oh, that
far
is
away?
that's the
can't-
fear spell. I always
Yeah.
get confused.
Yeah, I can't
between-
willingly move closer.
Yes, so he is up
So I
against you.
don't.
Your horse legs are kind of like they're shaking a little bit, but you're doing good. You're a strong, prideful girl, and you will not be treated with such disdain by these.
I'll
trivial
attack
people.
with ranged weaponry from the back.
Okay, but Lox, what is your turn? So
He's
it
gonna-
is it is 2 grubs behind this guy, and he has stepped over them to fight the centaur.
Just take his action, crawl up the wall, stare down at the battlefield and stroke his chin, and then like point in the center of the 3 of them and cast web.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. Make a perception check while you're up there.
Meow.
After the bodies.
That's what, 17.
Okay. Yeah, so a 17 will hit, perception. Right. So yeah, looking around up in this low light area, you see that these shapes that have been placed up in this higher area that's around 10 feet, 15 feet up off the ground, are what look to be corpses. That show various different symbols on their chest representing different guilds, and you can see that there is one from the Orzhov, one from Demir, 2 that are from the Izzet, and then you see one large Minotaur body that's been placed up with 2 large juts of metal through each of its shoulders that is wearing a Boros signia.
Gross.
And that one seems to be the freshest as the blood is still kind of seeping out of its wounds.
Interesting.
Gross.
But then you cast Web.
Web.
Cast
I cast the web. I'm going to reduce that with my sorcery points to a bonus action. That's it. One more. And then I'm going to cast a firebolt into the web.
Ooh. Okay. Okay, and are you planning on having this like web catch fire and catch everybody in the firebolt damage?
Mhm.
I will allow that because you used a spell slot in order to do so. So,
I use spell slot and a sorcery point.
yep, yeah, no, if you go all out, I'll totally let that happen.
It's what normally happens, though, isn't it?
They take 2d4.
Isn't it actually in the thing with web if it
Yeah.
catches fire?
The webs are flammable. Any 5-foot cube of web exposed to fire burns away in 1 round, dealing 2d4 fire damage to any creature that starts its turn in the fire.
Okay. Sounds good. So, then roll for your fire damage.
2d. Should I use the firebolt on the creature and then hope the webs ignite around it? That would make sense, right? Let's firebolt though.
I'm a monk. I punch stuff.
Oh, okay. A flammable object hit by this spell ignites if it is being worn or carried, so I do have to target the web.
Okay.
Cool. So 1, 3, 4 fire damage.
Okay. Sounds good. So you deal 4 fire damage to this creature. And he seems to not take as much from the damage as you thought that he was going to.
Oh no.
And sorry, what was the number that you had said?
4.
Okay. Yeah, so he will only take 2 of that.
Oh no.
So that was it for your turn. Let's see if the Webbos caught fire. They did not. That is a 6 out of 100. With 95 or better being the to burn. So yeah, he gets hit and you see the webs just kind of like burn away from him very quickly. Didn't look like they ignited very much to deal significant damage on him. But the grubs are stuck. So that was your turn. Followed up, we are going to go to Bruce Lee.
Let's throw a dart at this big dude.
Okay.
And that is 24.
Okay, 24 hits. Roll for damage.
That doesn't, I'm in trouble. And 7 damage.
Okay. And that also does not look like it deals
I
as
gathered
much.
that. And I'm going to run up and do flurry of blows. I don't know how far away I was from it.
You were about 20 feet away.
I'm
from
always
where
at the
I was.
back of the
Yeah.
group because I'm lazy. 21.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yeah, 21 hits.
Good hit. Boom. And that is a 5.
All right. Sounds good.
Again, didn't look as effective as I
No.
thought. Man, I really wish I took these silver weapons.
You are the
15.
weapon.
You are the weapon.
Yeah, I was trying to sound tough. 15.
Okay. 15 just hits. Roll for damage.
Can you give me silver gauntlets? That's a 5.
Okay.
That's silver tusks.
And because I'm drunk, 30 feet back the other way.
Yep, you kind of stagger backwards. No
Sorry,
problem.
I didn't mean to bump into you. My bad. My bad. It just...
So next up is Daka.
Yeah.
And Shemra, you are going to be going right after Daka.
I'm a little skittish. So what I'm gonna do is get out my bow and arrow with the silver arrows, and I'm gonna try and shoot the guy, but at disadvantage because I can see the thing that's scaring me.
Yes.
If you attack, what if you attack me, and I'll throw it, and we just.
Do you want to?
It's your call.
I mean,
I would be down for.
'cause-
I would be so fucking down for this interaction. Oh my god.
we did discuss this. It would be cool.
It wouldn't be at disadvantage because you're not looking at the creature. You're looking at me.
No, he's within sight though.
Oh my god, it's that scene out of the Swan Princess.
Yeah, essentially.
What?
Okay. We're about to reenact a scene from Swan Princess. All right, I will shoot at him then.
Okay.
Okay.
We are a band and not a band.
Can I willingly move into the way of the arrow if it's gonna miss?
It's not
More
you than I
than
can bear. 13.
It's actually better if it misses you because then your missile deflection reaction
Yeah.
is going to be easier to achieve.
13.
I'm gonna be hit by it.
Oh, it has to actually be able to hit you.
Yeah.
How does missile deflect?
Deflect missiles. You can use your reaction to deflect or catch missile when you're hit by a ranged weapon attack.
Ah, got it.
That's why I'm like, can I move into it?
What's your AC?
15.
Ah, okay. If you use your reaction to do the missile deflect, I will let you move into it because I like the flavor of this whole scene. I think this is really cool, so I'm definitely gonna let it happen.
Okay, so how much damage does it do?
How much damage does it do?
Yeah, it would just
Yeah,
be
because
1d6.
I need to
You would
reduce
get
it
no
to
sneak
0.
attack off of this.
It's short bow
Yeah.
with a d6. Oh, so I should probably roll that, huh? Ah! Gosh, 6
Okay.
damage.
Yeah.
Oh,
and-
6. I'm guaranteed 8 damage reduced. So we get our throw, and then what is it? I need to make a ranged attack.
Okay.
Okay. That is an 18.
Okay. 18 hits. Roll for damage.
How do I do my damage with this?
1d6.
1d4 plus 3. Okay. 7.
Okay. Yeah.
That was the most
It was-
convoluted.
So extra.
Okay, now to flavor this, because the arrow was going to miss me, I'm going to do monkish flipping, grab it with my trunk in midair, and throw it before I land.
Okay.
And like the little bit of dust goes out from where I
I'm
landed.
like reared back on my back legs whilst shooting at him. So
What the
You know
fuck?
that classic sad sheriff
What
stance.
what kind of Percy Jackson and the Olympians bullshit is this?
It's not even Percy Jackson at this point. It's Michael Bay.
Oh my
I
god.
didn't want to use.
Somewhere.
Can I use Blowfall with my ears to make sure I've thrown it properly before I hit the ground?
Oh my god. Yeah, no,
Just-
all of this has definitely happened. Shemra,
And then
Shamrock
I
is-
need to make
Oh,
a
God.
I need to make a frighten check. So it's
Yes,
wisdom, right?
wisdom.
I disadvantage on saving throws while he's visible. So, right?
Yes.
That's how frightened works. Oh, on ability checks, not saving
Oh.
throws. So fine.
Don't ask me
how's-
about rules right now.
10?
Goddamn
10?
useless.
Not a 10.
10 does not save out.
Okay.
Gotta say the truth.
A horse.
What I-
The horror.
Guys, have we hit Squirrely?
Yes. At 13 hours in. So Shemra, it is your turn.
Well, I'm not squirrely because I got a nap. But
What are
I
naps?
am going to, right? I am going to stomp my feet on the ground and use my. It's dragon. Where is it? Dragon fear. I'm gonna roar,
The fuck?
and I'm going to. Basically, it's the same thing as fear. For
Okay.
him. It's a feat I took. So I'm gonna stomp and roar at him and like say, two can play at that game. So he
Okay.
needs to make a wisdom saving throw.
Sure.
Which my wisdom is
Just
not that
immune
high.
to it, and he's just like screaming back.
You got 15.
with bugs.
Yeah, no, he saves.
Okay. And he just
All
sort
right.
of seems to start cackling and laughing at you as you go to try and make him afeared.
Fair enough.
Takes an arrow
Then
to the
I'm
face.
going to run at him. Am I at least 20 feet away?
You could reasonably take at least a 10-foot step back and then charge him with 20.
Okay, then I'm gonna use a goring rush as my bonus accent. Bonus action.
Bonus
Much
action.
A bonus action.
I've discovered what the accent for this character is at the very end of this one shot.
Bonus action.
All right, and then that is going to be a
A
horn
fuck?
attack. So make a melee attack with your horns as a bonus action. Okay.
Hit him
I can
with your
do that.
face.
Horns +7. Oh, that's a 10.
Okay, yeah, 10 does not hit. So as you go to gore him, you actually see like you're about to get his center of mass, and then you see his like as you're charging towards him, his top half of body just seems to just fall down almost like a puppet string has been cut. But you see his head just kind of flip
Nice.
over to the side and look at you, and you can see that there's a lot of strain on the skin around his neck as he just continues to laugh as you charge by. And then his
Okay.
body kind of like structures back up. Like those little collapsing dolls that have
Yeah.
a little push button on the bottom. That's basically this guy right now. So it is time for the Minotaur Skelly Man's turn.
I'm gonna have him attack the little maggots.
Okay.
They're big maggots, right?
They're a swarm of maggots, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm just gonna have him do that. Do you want me to roll for that?
Yeah,
Or do you wanna
roll for him.
Okay. That's a 12 on the die.
That's enough to hit the maggots.
Cool.
And
What do I
it's
roll for
2d12s
Woo!
plus 4.
Aren't you guys glad that I got this guy on our side?
Hell yeah.
Thank you for being a friend.
I could have taken him.
That's 5.
Okay.
That's okay.
Sounds good. So yeah, it takes a sizable amount of damage. And then next up is going to be Oxlin.
Did Shimra end her turn 5 feet away from the thing?
Yes.
I'll move up next to her and stab at it with my silvered short sword.
Okay. Sounds good.
And that is 13.
Die.
Does not hit, I don't think.
Alrighty. So yeah, a 13 just misses.
Alright. Well,
Oh.
I'm still going to give Shimra advantage with the help action.
Okay. So yeah, these little maggots are currently stuck in the webs, and they can't really do a whole lot. But they are close enough to the Minotaur skeleton that they are going to try and nibble out against his bones with their tiny little sharp. I said that dice is gone forever. does I believe a 17 actually does hit this guy. This is the first time I've hit with these fucking grubs.
Yeah.
You go, grubs. You got it.
Go grubs.
Do 2 damage.
Hit 2 damage, and then 14 poison.
Oh, thank you, Pro Restarter, for the host.
Hey!
Hey.
You're a cool guy, and I'm glad you're here.
I was awake.
You were totally awake and not asleep.
We're all awake.
Alrighty, so so they are you see as 2 of these, as they're kind of biting and nibbling against the skeletal structure of this thing, they actually break one of the lower femur on this minotaur skeleton, and you see these grubs actually start digging their way into the bones as they begin burrowing inside of this creature.
JD, stop it!
Ah, JD, thank you.
You're the best.
What did we do to deserve such good people? So yeah, he currently has 2 of these rot grubs inside
Gross.
of him, and you see them just kind of like wriggling, like trying to actually get inside. So then next up is going to be those were the grubbins, and they couldn't really do a whole lot other than their little basic attack. So then next up is this horrifying creature. And it is going to try and reach out with its tendrils at... Because the person nearest it now is Shemra?
We're both next to it, but yeah.
Okay. It is going to try and attack out against Shemra.
Do it.
I don't believe that is going to hit.
Do
With
it.
a 15?
Nope.
Okay, so its attack fails. And that is all that it can do for its turn. Yeah, so that's it. Next up is Lux. Or Lux.
Looking at the situation.
What's Tuna doing right now?
Tuna did not.
Licking himself.
He did not
like
pass
sad.
He did not pass his wisdoms.
Oh
He's scared, so he's kind of like backed up. He has his hands out, and you see him just kind of like, just sort of like trying to do this shark hiss from over his weird shark puppy claws.
I love him so much. Wings, please tell me you drew him.
No, she's prepping for Weird West right now. Clearly. Clearly. Yeah. So, yeah, Lox, it is your turn.
I guess I could try this.
I love when the sorcerer says that. I guess I could try this. As in, I'm not the one gonna get hit.
I'm not the one getting hit. Yeah, from up on the wall, like everyone's-
Fireball.
I'm not third level caster yet. That would have been at 5. But from up on the wall, no one sees it. But Lox's mouth like splits open into that 4 like predator mouth,
Oh, that's fucking awesome.
Dude.
and he just like spits something on top of the ghoul thing, and has to make a con save because I'm casting infestation.
Okay. That's really gross.
So you still want that bagel, everyone? This guy just-
So he got an
That is
11
magic.
on his con save.
On 14.
Nice.
So I deal. This is gonna actually be very hilarious. 6 poison damage,
Okay.
and like barnacles start to sprout from its skin.
So it is immune to poison.
Sad face.
Yeah, so it has these weird little barnacles growing on it, but it doesn't have, it doesn't suffer any of the...
Okay, but now it has to move 5 feet in a random direction.
Okay. That is... I have had a dice waiting for this moment for so long. It is
So
a
this
movement die
means-
from Warhammer.
Ooh.
So let's see where it goes.
This
Hey,
could mean
look
it
at
could
him
possibly
go!
run right back into the webs.
He actually, how far does he have to move?
5 feet.
All right, so 5 feet. He takes a 5-foot step to the left of where what's his name? Oxlin. To the side of Oxlin.
OxyClean and ShamWow.
Yeah, this movement doesn't provoke.
Does
so-
ShamWow get attack of opportunity?
No, the movement doesn't provoke, which really sucks because like forced movement doesn't provoke movement like attacks of opportunity.
Unfortunate.
But does he step back into webs? That's the main question.
No, he doesn't. He steps out of them going forward.
Sad face. That's it.
Okie dokie. Sounds cute. So then that is your turn. Next up is going to be... God damn it, Bruce Lee.
Lee.
Yes.
Well,
Yes,
yeah, he's
I
gonna
can't
throw a
read.
dart because why not? 18.
Our favorite pachyderm
I'm assuming that's
pugilist,
a hit.
Bruce Lee.
End of 18.
Okay. Yes.
You're the one
18
running
hits.
it. You've got
Yes.
a fair bit of.
Sorry.
Might be a little tired.
It's catching up with you, brah.
Yeah. 18 hits. I was trying to answer.
6.
Yeah, the Discord chat. You can join in if you link your Twitch and your Discord.
And then
And then it
if
should
you go
just show
to
up.
Discord connections, it should be there, but you may need to give it up to half hour for it to register.
Yeah.
6 damage.
Okay.
It's like every so often Discord does a little refresh to see what you're connected to. And knowing that the horse is still afraid, I'm going to save my key in case I need to deflect an arrow.
Okay.
And I'm just going to chill.
Sounds good. So then next up comes Daka.
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 Daka's gonna fire off an arrow. This time just directly at the creature. At disadvantage, because that's how it do. How's about how much is that again? Gosh, my brain. 12? No, not a 12?
No, 12 does not hit.
All right, save. Ugh. I don't think I save. It's an 8.
Yeah, no, you are still afeared.
Horrors!
God damn it. Okay, so next up is Shemra.
Do this shit.
wow.
All right, I'm gonna attempt to hit him with my pike.
Do it.
You have advantage.
Yeah, that's my brother.
My brother.
Oh, that's a nat 20 and a 19.
Woo!
Woo!
Nice.
So, with my nat 20, I'm going to roll my 2d10. There we go.
This with your silver pack?
Yes, it is. So that is 6. That's 11.
Okay.
And then I'm going to use my bonus action to smite.
Oof.
And I'm
Oof.
going to use... What kind of smite is this? Let's do Thunderous Smite.
Woo!
So he needs to do anything? Does he have to do anything?
I believe he has to make a save of some sort.
First time you hit with a melee attack during the spell's duration, your weapon rings with thunder and it's audible within 300 feet of you. At the attack deals an extra 2d6 thunder damage on the target.
Okay, so
Additionally-
so then the next attack that you do will have that up if you didn't use it before you attack. Yes,
Oh, I
yes.
see.
Yes, 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 yes.
Yes. Okay, next time.
Next time.
Okay. Sounds
Next time I'll be
good.
deadly serious next time.
Super deadly serious. So then next up is going to be your Minotaur Skelly Man. And he is going to take 8 points of piercing damage as these worms continue to just burrow into him.
Am I supposed to be keeping track of that?
You can. His health
Okay.
is.
Because I don't know what his health.
His overall health is 67.
And he's taken 8. What did you? I didn't write down what he took last time.
He didn't take anything last time. That was just the initial crawling in.
Okay. And then he's going to attack.
Okay. More rat grabs.
Yeah, that's a 10.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah,
what,
10
what
hits.
Does he have to hit? 10 plus what to hit?
It is 10 plus 6.
All right. And then 2d12 plus 6. 2d12 plus 4.
Yes.
Okay. Oh, shit!
Is it another?
That is... Let's see, plus 4. Damage. That would be 27. I rolled a 12 and an 11.
Well, that swarm is dead. Just crush all of them underneath the weight of this great axe.
I might want to keep him around.
Yeah. So then next up is going to be Oxley.
Right.
Get him.
Yeah.
Kill it.
Is Shemra still within 5 feet?
Yes.
Of the guy? Yeah. Just doing the thing. Silver short sword. 9.
9.
Oh, thank you, Kylan.
Really
9.
not good. But advantage
Yeah.
to Shemra. Take it.
Okay.
Rogue's not doing so hot today.
So then one
Wait.
last swarm of these grubs is going to try and nibble out against the Minotaur. They don't hit. That's all they can do. But
Somehow you're so sad about these freaking grubs.
they're cool, man. They're cool grubs. They're just shit as an enemy. So yeah, that is all that those grubs can do. So we are back at the top with this scary spooky man. And the scary spooky man is going to actually try and swipe out against you, Shenra. But a 14 does not hit. That is all he can do. So then next up is Lox. My grubs are so cute.
Yeah.
I miss these grubs.
I'm just picturing the grubs from Teen Titan. Remember the
My little.
No, silky. Silky.
Oh my god, that's the sound these grubs are making.
No!
No? Nah, I'm kidding.
I'm gonna cast my magic missile at 2nd level.
Okay.
Ooh, 4. 6. 10.
And are you attacking the swarms or the creature?
The creature.
Okay.
17 points of force damage.
Okay. Yeah, so it gets peppered, and you see its body actually shake and then fall down to the ground. And as it is laying on the ground, its body completely wrecked. You guys just hear this as a spiritual form leaves this creature, and you can just see this fiendish entity just floating above it, and it shoots up into one of the bodies that is actually on the wall. And you see the human human Orzhov agent that was lying next to you, stuck on the wall, Lox, actually just tilts its head over to you and just gives you this very, very wide, large smile. As it begins like grabbing onto the blade and pulling itself forward.
Hiss. Shitter. Scoot away.
I'm equally nasty.
I'm equally terrifying.
And I'm one of the heroes. So then did you have a bonus action or anything else that you would want to do?
I'm gonna move like further towards the group and like down into the center.
Okay.
Friends, hello.
Sounds good. So then next up is going to be Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. Oh, how far up is this thing?
This thing looks like it is about 15 feet up, stuck on a wall, and it's grabbing at this large metal spike and trying to pull itself free. And you can just see that there is a lot of blood and viscera just coming from its back, as it looks like this blade was very close to actually going through its spine, but it just doesn't seem to care as it pulls its body forward.
So it's on a sword.
It's on a large spike on the wall, yes.
Large spike. It's like the long jump thing with the whole strengthening the same as a vertical jump.
A
Height
vertical
wise.
jump.
Different rules, I'm sure.
Can I jump super high?
Vertical jump is half your strength score.
And it's 15.
Yeah.
Shit. I can only get 12.
Your trunk does have a 5-foot reach.
Let's do this. Okay, we'll activate a key point.
Okay. I'm so terrified to find out where this is going to go.
Why not? And I'll use Step of the Wind.
Okay.
Your jump distance is doubled for your turn. So
Sure.
does that mean I can jump the full 12 instead of just 6? And I'll use my trunk to try and hold on to the spike.
Okay.
Let's try and get up there.
All right. So do you want to try and hold on to the spike, or do you want to try and hold on to the creature?
Oh, let's go to the creature. That seems like a smarter idea.
Okay. Make a athletics check.
Oh, that's not a smart idea.
Yeah. So this creature is only going to get
Natural 20.
Oh shit. Okay. So
I'm a heavy elephant. Come down, buddy.
Yeah. No, I am more trying to figure out what the average weight is, and then give you a little bit more, because I'm assuming with all of the booze that you drink, you're probably a Loxodon with a beer belly. So you would
I'm
be...
happy. Don't forget my long moustache too.
Oh yeah, that adds at least 15, 20 pounds. I mean, that is a hefty stash, my friend.
You thought I was drunk.
Well, I am, but you're still wrong. Oh, JD, thank you. Yeah, so your Loxodon, you're between 300 and 400 pounds. So, it begins to tear this creature down this long spike. And as it does, you are just pulling on it with your trunk. Like, it's this weird act that you guys are seeing as his head's up, his trunk is wrapped around a leg, and it is just pulling this creature down. And you see the spike kind of driving up into this creature's chest, and it just shakes its head, and then you see it like shake its hip a little bit as the leg actually falls off and sends you back down onto the ground. But you have dealt a significant amount of damage to this thing.
And as I fall, I'll use slow fall to reduce my damage.
Okay.
I take my 20 for falling, so my ears are just helping me glide down.
Yes.
How far away are you?
I was roughly like 10 feet up in the air. Well, 15.
Yeah, he had jumped up. He had jumped up 12 feet, and then his trunk gives him an additional 5 feet out.
I was gonna say, don't use your slow fall. I'm just gonna cast Feather Fall on you as my reaction. But
Satyr spell
Let him
slot.
Save
let
it.
him be a Dumbo, okay?
Yeah, let him literally let him be Dumbo. Like,
I've pretty much done everything I wanted to do as a monk.
yes.
I got to jump high, I got to glide, and I got to deflect an arrow. I'm done. I got nothing else I can do because I can't punch him.
Oh, Kylie, thank you. Thank you. All right, so that is your turn, Bruce. Next up is Daka.
Daka. That's what I say now. Attack at disadvantage. Yeah, that doesn't hit.
Okay.
And I'm going to try to
Stop being afraid.
not be afraid.
Do what Eminem
Come
said
on.
and not be afraid.
I'm a brave centaur.
Little toaster.
Natural 20!
Yes! You finally save out of the fear.
I'm a
Bravery!
brave centaur. I'm a brave centaur. Yeah, I am.
I'm so fucking brave, and like your horsetail like slaps your own ass to give you that added bonus.
Just sitting there, just like smacking herself in the head, like, I'm brave! Oh!
That elephant just ripped the guy in half. I'm brave.
Alright, that's it for my turn.
Oh my god.
Also, remember, Endor, you could tell me to roll a d20 at any time for some chaos magic.
It's true.
Oh! On his turn.
It's
on his
fine.
turn.
No, because it's only when you cast a spell of first level or higher.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, there's so many cupcakes. JD, thank you.
Oh, geez.
Cupcakes, sweeter, give me.
All right, so yeah, so then it is Shemra's turn.
All right, let's kill this son of a bitch. All right, I'm gonna not. That's the wrong page. You know, we'll do it. All right, I'm gonna hit him with the pike again.
Okay.
Do I have advantage?
Yeah. You still have advantage for me, but the one that we were fighting, right? That one's now dead.
He's dead, and you see him kind of like moving himself on a spike, and then that was what that is what Bruce Lee had actually like latched onto and pulled down, and you heard this sickening snapping sound as sinew got ripped apart as the leg dropped down as Bruce's ears flapped out and let him steadily glide back down onto the ground.
So the main bad guy impaled himself on a pike?
The main
No,
bad
the
guy.
spirit left the body into another body.
Yes.
Yeah.
Got it.
Body swap.
Okay,
Body swap.
but is that one still alive?
Missing a leg.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
missing a leg and still trying to pull himself off of this spike.
And he's how many feet up in the air?
He is 15 feet up in the air.
Easy. All right, I'm gonna poke him with my spear.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump.
Do it.
Come here. Ah.
Okay. Make an attack roll.
Okay. Oh shit. Oh, it's another 19 and a natural 20. Same dice.
And you used the
Amazing.
smite last time, so you got the lightning damage as well.
Mm-hmm.
Thunder damage. Jeez Louise. Okay.
Gotta kill spirit.
So I get to do smite damage.
Smite damage.
Thunderous smite, 2d6. 2d6 plus my d10 that I keep putting away for reasons.
Doubled.
Oh, okay. So 8, 9.
Your smite
Plus-
damage does double as well.
Oh, that's right. Shit. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9. 10, 11,
Thank you.
20, 16, 19
Holy
plus
shit.
5. 19 plus 5, 24 damage on my poke. And I just hit him with the top of the spear, and there's a deafening thunder in this area.
All right. And
Have
it is,
big ears. Ow.
so yeah, you slice your pike into this creature, and as you do, you actually see it cut along the side from about the shoulder down to the waist. And as it does, you see that this creature is starting to leave again, but that's when the thunderous smite damage ends up kicking in, and you just see it get turned to dust against the wall. As you guys have defeated this fiendish creature deep within the sewers beneath... Brain. I was going to say the sewers beneath Waterdeep, but thank
Nope.
God not there. Beneath
Sewers
Ravnica.
beneath Shroudport Deep.
Fucking not again. Yeah,
Ravnica.
El Navico.
the sewers
Sewers.
of Ravnica. And using your Minotaur-like ability to retrace your steps while you were within the mine, or within the maze, it takes you guys the better part of 3 hours or so to actually make it out back onto the streets. And when you do, Before you fully exit, you see that cloaked figure that you guys had met previously, and he just asks, "So is it done?"
Yeah, I told you I was a weapon.
He just smiles and
I
nods.
ripped a guy in half.
I motion to the skeleton minotaur.
So, funny thing about that skeleton minotaur, it is
died.
steadily going to die on your way out as the rot grubs continuously deal damage to it.
Cool.
Yeah. So it, like, as it's walking, it just begins to kind of tumble and turn to ash as these 2 rot grubs have just nibbled away from the marrow on the inside.
I'm gonna say a quick minotaur prayer.
Okay.
A Sharar prayer.
Sounds...
Wow.
Sham. Wow.
1,
But wait,
2,
there's more.
3, guacamole. The prayer of the slap chop.
Even after death, there is more.
Oh my god, yeah, so you guys end up completing this mission, and you make your way back to the Godless Shrine, where you know that Teysa Orzhov is willing to remove your debts, and as you guys come through, she has in front of her 5 contracts. And as you can see, your family names or your name or a relative's name, anybody that you were clearing this contract of, she has these contracts out in front of you, and she sets them down onto the table with just a nice quick spread. And then you see her reach for what looks to be almost like a little plunger, but there's no suction part on it. It just has little rollers at the bottom. And as she grabs it, she stamps down onto the first one, and you just see this red void. And she just stamps void on all of these contracts, as you guys have earned your afterlives once more. And that is where we are going to leave it with the streets of Ravnica. So thank you all who decided to stick around, as this is one of the first 6-hour sessions that I've DM'd for. Normally I only play like a third of this time with my friends. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who stopped by so far, to all you new people in chat.
Has it been 6 hours already?
Yeah, we started.
Oh, right, it's getting darker.
Right.
We started
What? It's
playing
dark.
at 8 a.m.
I'm not gonna lie, I totally thought that I had only booked myself in for 9 hours, not 10.
Yeah, that last hour. That's pushing through. But yeah, so to all of you new people who are joining us in chat, currently we are having a giveaway for a D&D book bundle that I am going to link in chat right now, which is, if you follow us on all the social medias and do all sorts of lovely, awesome, good stuff, then you can win a Waterdeep Dragon Heist book, a Xanathar's Guide to Everything book, as well as little add-ons that I have provided, which includes the dice that I have been using throughout most of the day that I'm actually honestly in love with, is the Waterdeep Dragon Heist dice. They feel
big.
That one is big, and then they also have a regular sized one, which I have been enjoying. And then I have a fresh set still in its wrapper for whoever ends up winning that part of the giveaway. We also have going on right now where if you want to donate to Extra Life, but you don't really have the funds for it right now, just follow the channel and we will donate money in your honor. So that is going to be it for the Streets of Ravnica. Thank you all for coming by. Come back in probably about 10-15 minutes or so.
Oh, please, 15 minutes. I can.
I'm gonna be asleep,
You're gonna be asleep.
Bye.
but I will be back after I wake
But
up.
we are going to be replacing Barry with Greybeard as Wings takes us through the weird West, where we get to be cowboys with superpowers. Sounds so fucking cool. I'm just gonna be
I have the
McCree.
powers of sleep.
Who needs that? I've heard
and
sleep is for the weak.
rejuvenation.
But yes, we are in hour 14 of our stream. And you know what?
Don't forget your hour
Hey
giveaways.
Kylan, guess what? You've been really active in chat, so you get to win the giveaway from the upcoming hour. And that
What do I have?
giveaway is, as we attempt to give it away now,
Give it away, give it away, give it away.
is, you know what? Which would you prefer? Tales of Berseria or the Life is Strange Complete Season Pack? Take
Honestly,
your pick. Message
I-
us.
They're both good choices.
They're both great.
both great
They're
choices.
both great choices. So just message me in Discord, and we will get you hooked up with one of these swell prizes. And if you don't wanna accept the prize and you want something else because you don't play games on PC, that's fine. That is totally fine, and we will figure out something else. But until then, we will see you guys at closer to around 2 o'clock-ish, where we take our path through the Weird West. So until then, we're going on a needed break. All right, everybody.
Ah!